I'm not sure if I'm ready for this, so honestly, like to share my story.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I feel more pressure being the host.
For real?
Yeah.
This is your idea.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not backing down. I'm going to do it, but I'm just like, fuck, this is stressful. What's up, gamers? Welcome to the Save File Podcast, episode 10, where, like every video game character, every gamer has a story to tell. I'm Sam Gonzalez, subbing in as the host today because episode 10, in honor of all the hard work that Gold Lion has been putting into this podcast, he decided we should interview him. So, Gold Lion, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. What's up? Yeah, like Sam said, episode 10, it's crazy. Didn't think I would actually be this far. This fast actually. There's out of all the invites I sent, there's actually a 30% return on it, and in that 30%, everybody's so open and awesome to do it. And I almost have January filled out. I'm looking at my calendar right now, and it's gonna be a good one. So, and the people that I have that are about to come on, it's gonna be great. So yes, episode 10. By the way, people, Sam was on episode 7, so everybody should check that out. It's a long one. It's literally the longest one, 2 hours and 30 minutes. But
yeah, I talk a lot.
yeah,
Sorry.
he spoke a lot, but I mean, like, he shared a lot too. He had a lot of interesting stuff. So again, this is also Sam's idea too. He hit me up in the DMs. Is like, hey, interview yourself. You look like you have an interesting story. I was like, all right, that's a good idea. I'll do that for episode 10. So here we are.
Speaking of that story, I've been actually thinking about this since we met. Why are you Gold Lion? You don't have like gold hair. I mean, you do have a mane going with the beard. You got long hair.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Okay. So what had happened is that okay, so in life, I believe to live your best life, you have to be your best you, which is be you and only you without the fear or judgment of other people. So there's this lingo out there that says stay golden. So basically it means just stay pure to yourself, stay who you are, no matter what. And then the lion is to me is that, it's the king of the jungle, and I'm a Leo. Got it tatted on me. Right there.
Okay, all right.
I'm a Leo. But most importantly, I believe that you are the king slash queen of your own life. And you should live because it is you. Nobody else is living in your body but you. And you should live as royalty as much as you should because it's your life. So, Gold Lion.
When's your birthday?
August 2nd.
Okay.
I'll be 30 this year. Oh, God. This is my last year. Somebody told me, one of my friends, she said that this is my senior year in my 20s.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, yeah.
Do you feel like approaching 30, because I'm hitting there too, and I've been thinking about it a lot. Do you feel like you've gotten enough life in for your first 30 years? I feel like 30 is a big marker because it's like the first year that you're like officially like not young anymore.
You're still young, dude.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But like relatively, you're not in your 20s. You're like an adult. You're 30.
Yeah, you got to take things up a notch for sure.
Yeah.
So you're asking is like, what's my self-reflection on almost hitting 30?
Yeah. Are you like proud of what you've done? Do you feel like you saw yourself doing more?
I mean, I definitely saw myself doing more, but at the same time, I'm grateful for the lessons that I learned. I've made a shit ton of mistakes. I've wasted a lot of that's one of the biggest factors is I wasted a shit ton of time on the wrong people. Because mostly my 20s, for mostly my 20s, I was in a relationship for 6 of those years, and like the last 3 years,
Damn.
it's just been nothing but trial and error. And then I just after about 4, I'm going on like 5 years being single, almost 6. So yeah, half of my 20s I was in a relationship. I'm just now getting to the point to where, all right, I know what the fuck I want to do with my life. And yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm at 29, but at the same time, 30 is still young. Gary Vee says it, you could be 32 and fucking up and you're still young, which I hold that dear. It's hard to comprehend that, because 32 is like, all right, bro, come on, that's 32. But I still feel young. I still look young. I don't look like a fucking 30-year-old. I mean, I take care of myself. I look like I'm in my 20, 23, 24. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a lot of lessons learned. Definitely see myself doing more. But I know once I hit 30, my 30s is gonna be my goal in my 30s before I hit my 40s is that I want to be known in the gaming industry as the gaming podcast, like the Joe Rogan of gaming podcasts.
Okay.
And it will
The
happen.
Joe Rogan of gaming.
Yeah, Joe Rogan of gaming podcast.
Are you gonna be like on the sidelines at tournaments yelling like he does for the UFC?
I'd love to eventually, because I love the whole competitive scene of being there. Like, especially like, because I did COD a lot. I played a lot of Call of Duty. That's another story too. I could have joined the organization, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah, but
Interesting. We'll get there for sure. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick your brain on all this.
I gotta edit that out, but I'm good.
So yeah, approaching 30, I've been doing the same like kind of thinking, and it's crazy. Yeah, we're still super young. 30 is super young because like, I mean, the average age of Americans is like 75 to 80, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that because I take care of myself and like I have good genetics, like my grandparents are both 90 and still walking around the house like fine. I imagine that in the future, the lifespan is going to upgrade to like 90 probably. So we've got our whole lives to live two more times. If
Yeah.
we're 30, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta. Yep, that's a good way of looking at it. It's
Yeah.
with technology coming out. I mean, we're gonna definitely be able to live longer somehow.
Yeah. That
gonna
Chinese
happen.
woman just broke the world record for oldest person, 117.
117.
117, dude. Yeah.
She's seen a
So-
lot. Wow.
Where are you from?
I'm from a small town, Plymouth, Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
Yeah, way up north, like the northern border of Indiana.
All right. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know where Indiana is on a map.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You know where the Great Lakes are at?
Yeah.
Literally right there.
Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, you're from like way up north. Then.
Yeah, way up north. Where I grew up around snow. It fucking sucks. That's why I'm in Texas, to get away from it. I hate snow. I don't like snow no more.
All right. What was life like there?
Life was pretty interesting. Yeah. I grew up in a trailer park, so not a lot of people know that. This was interesting. Is that when I share my life story, like a lot of people were like, "Bro, I never thought you were from there, or you came from that." I was like, "What? Why?" So I don't know. It's weird. Just want to throw that out
That's
there.
interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I
Do
grew up
they
in.
tell you where they think you're from?
Yeah, they said I look like I grew up like in the suburbs. Had a nice family, had nice parents that raised me, took care of me. I never struggled with money. I'm like, that's so off. But yeah, no, definitely not. But yeah, I grew up in a little trailer park in the middle of the woods, middle of nowhere, practically in the back roads of my small town. Life was interesting there. It was pretty crazy. Damn, I'm about to get deep real quick. Here we go.
That's fine.
I was raised by my mother mostly, and then my dad. They didn't have the greatest relationship. My mother, she's an immigrant from Mexico. She got her papers around maybe when I was, I think, like 5, because she married my dad. This is like before I was even born, so it took a while to get it. My dad, he's a Scottish descendant. He didn't grow up very well. My dad's side of the family, they're all full of meth heads, coke heads, alcoholics, abusive, incest, weird people. Yeah, very weird people.
Incest.
Yeah, we're very weird
Interesting.
people. Yeah, very weird people. And
Do you
yeah,
still keep in touch with them?
no point. Most of them, quite a few of them, has died due to their body just literally gave out on them, and they died of old age pretty quickly. Like they were like in their 50s and 60s. They just too many, like they did drugs all the way to the end, man.
How many generations was it before your dad got here? Was he first gen and his parents were from Scotland? Is that what you
No,
said,
he
Scotland?
was from what I'm told, because my mom, she met my grandparents. both of my grandparents on my dad's side, they were both alcoholics. They were really bad and they were abusive. Um, they were so fucked up in the head that my dad, he started drinking when he was a baby because my grandmother and my grandfather, they bought alcohol as a as a necessity. So then when my grandma didn't have formula for my uncles and aunts, she would put beer in their bottles and have them drink it.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How old were you when you finally moved to Texas?
I was 20. Wow, how old was I? What the hell? I think I was like 23, 22,
Okay.
around there. I moved. What happened was is that my grandfather has a house here, which I'm still living in right now.
Is that where you're at right now?
Um, my grandfather has this house. My whole family knows about my mom, how she was struggling, raising me and my two sisters by herself. And she lived in a shitty trailer that was literally breaking apart all the time. And my grandfather was like, I never knew my grandfather tried to convince my mom to, like, my grandfather's like, you can have this house, just move down here. It's yours. Just come down here. I never knew that. And then somehow I had a conversation with my mom and she brought it up. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this whole time we could have just moved. I'm like, how long? She's like, oh, ever since you were like, probably in high school. I'm like, what?
That's interesting.
And you just said no this whole time? So yeah, my mom was scared to make the move, to pull the trigger. So then I pretty much convinced her, like, there's nothing here. This trailer was made in the 60s. It's literally falling apart on you. Like, there was literally falling apart. It was.
What was holding her back?
Fear of change, honestly. Like, it's typical with people, they fear change.
Yeah.
And I had to convince her, like, listen, I'm old enough. I could work. I could help you out. Whatever you're worried about. Like, what is it that you're worried about? So I picked her brain, and literally it just came down to that. She said it's a new place. She's scared to find a new job, like, because she was comfortable with her job. She was there for about 10 years, making good money, but she was slaving away, which is not healthy at all. And then,
what was the job?
She was building cabinets for RVs.
Okay.
Yeah, she was doing that. She was slaving away. Like, I worked there for a little while, but I ended up getting fired because I got in an argument with my team lead. She was an angry 40-year-old single woman, and she was just raging on everybody. I was like, bitch, I'm the wrong person. Don't come at me like that. Oh, you think just because your mom's been here forever, you could talk how I was? Like, that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, long story short, boss heard about it. He's like, did you mean everything you said? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you can't work here no more. I'm like, cool, bye.
Did you mean everything? He gave you an
yeah.
opportunity, man.
I don't care. I was like,
I think you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah. So I was like, nope, not gonna happen. So eventually we moved to Texas. I came down here. At the time I had a girlfriend. And I laugh because there's a reason why I'm laughing. And I remember I was talking to her and I was like, listen, you can stay here in Indiana. We'll have a clean breakup. It is what it is. Or you can come with me. It's up to you. Yeah. Long story short, she came with me.
Okay.
Yeah, we were only 7 months in the relationship.
Oh.
And her dumbass decided to come with me. I'm like, I look back at it now, like, you're stupid. Like, why would you come with me? Yeah, I did, but like,
you both fucked up. So how long did that last after you moved here?
Funny you mentioned that. I moved down here, and then we were probably like 6 months in, and then I had a conversation with her. We're literally doing the same shit we did in Indiana, working at shitty jobs, and still in the same spot. So what can we do different? So we spoke about careers. She said she wanted to be into nursing, and I said I want to be into music because I was a DJ. I was really into DJing before I moved out. And I said I want to be a music major and actually be a music producer, be in the studio and everything. Or I was into anime, so I was like, I want to make music for like anime. I think that'd be cool, sound effects and stuff. I was like, I don't have the money for that. How am I gonna afford it? Oh well, I'm gonna join the army. They're gonna pay for everything. So
Damn. So you joined out of Texas after you moved down from Indiana.
yeah,
Oh, all right. How old were you when you went in?
I was like 23, 24.
Okay.
So I went in. While I was away, she went to there's this place called Gary Job Corps in San Marcos, which is 20 minutes away from where I live. They offer free schooling, free trade schooling. So she went there, and you could live there. They have dormitories there that you could stay and live there. They provide housing and food for you for free. So she's decided to live there while I was away for the army. So I did my time. Oh, I mean, I didn't do my time. I did my basic training and then did my AIT, which is my job training. I was away for 8 months. Here's the funny story. So my girlfriend or my family didn't know I was on my way, so I wanted to surprise everybody.
Oh shit.
And I texted my girlfriend at the time, best friend, to be like, "Hey, don't tell her, but I'm on the way." She's like, "Oh my god!" So I was like, "Yeah, can you help me surprise her? Like, just go to like I don't know. I planned to like have her go to a Starbucks or something, and I was gonna pull up and be like, "Hi," something cool like that." But about like 5 minutes later, my girl at the time, she texted me saying, she said, "Are you on your way back?" Question mark. I was like,
What?
"Oh my god." She's like, she fucking told her. So at first I was like, why did she tell her? And then I shit you not, dude. Like after that, my girl at the time, she like just left me cold turkey. Like,
What?
yeah, she just instantly switched up, didn't want to answer my text. She was afraid to come visit me. Like I told her, like, I'm literally here at the house. Why don't you come visit me? Like, what's going on? She would make excuses, postpone it, this and that. So then my instincts kicked in. I was like, all right, yeah, she's been cheating on me this whole time. So I finally said, you know what? It's obvious. You don't want to come out and confront it. You don't want to be grown and tell me about what you've been doing because I know what you've been doing. So let's just, you know what? I can't do this no more. I just came back from the army. I got a lot of crap on my head and I got to deal with because I was already being deployed. And I was like, I got all this other stuff going on and I don't need your extra shit. So deuces. A week later, my sister shows me her Instagram and she's dating somebody.
Yeah.
And then I remember the caption. I remember the caption on their picture because they were out on a date to like IHOP, I think, and it said,
Classic.
"Finally happy to be together." I was like, "Wow!" So y'all were talking. It couldn't be official because you were technically dating me.
That's so weird.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, the silver lining in those situations, because I feel like everybody's got at least one of those stories, is you learned that that wasn't the person for you, and you got out, and you're off to better things.
Touche, my friend. Toast to that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. I'm gonna go down the list here. How is your environment? Oh, this is talking about like childhood. Okay.
Mm-hmm. My environment back at home.
Well, let's go back to Indiana. What
Yeah.
was the environment like there? Did
Yeah.
you live with both of your parents?
Yeah, so goddamn. All right, I'm about to just spill everything. All right. So actually one of the first questions that are on there is that what was my first experience with gaming? I don't know if you see that, if you went over that.
That's actually not even on here, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have not copy pasted that on there. My bad.
That's cool.
Okay.
Why their gamer tag? Where are they from? You're gonna edit this part out, I hope.
No, baby. I might leave it in. It's cool. It's raw footage. It's cool. It's a podcast. Who cares?
Yeah.
Be all right. But it's actually my fault. It's not your fault. Okay, so I won't edit it out. It's my fault. But yeah, so I'm gonna start off with that. My first experience with gaming is that it literally had to be my first memory ever in life. I remember a memory where my dad was here, my mom was here, and I was like sitting. I was small, like I could feel it. I was small in like a baby cradle, and then right in front of me was my parents playing Super Mario on Super Nintendo.
That's so
Yoshi's Island. And I remember I
love that game.
yeah, and I remember I asked myself this question, like, what's my first gaming experience? And then I looked up the year that game came out. It came out in 1992. So then I'm like, dude, I was 2 years old, and I still remember that. So my first memory in life is a fucking video game.
Yoshi
is
ignited
Yoshi.
your brain. Yoshi
Yeah,
turned your brain on.
yeah. So yeah, that was it, and I was just like, dude, it's destiny. Like I have to. It's crazy. So yeah, small town kid, grew up. I have two younger sisters. I was the oldest. I had to grow up pretty quick because my parents ended up separating when I was around 12 or 13 because my dad cheated on my mom. I mean, it was accumulated with things like what happened was is that when I was 10 years old, both my parents, because my parents met at a factory. My dad was a supervisor. My mom came straight from the river and started working there. And yeah, whatever. That's how it all started. Um, so that there was a really good job. I remember every Christmas was fucking amazing. You know, full of presents. Life was good. They spoiled the hell out of us, and then my parents lost their job because the company Lear decided to shut down that factory and move it to Mexico for obviously cheaper reasons. So after when that happened, it was just a spiral of shit. My dad really got into drinking, didn't come home some weekends. My dad was too lazy to keep a job. He would get a job, but was too lazy to keep a job. Eventually, shit happened, and then my dad ended up cheating on my mom with some woman in the trailer park, some trailer park trash. I still remember her. My
That's
mom,
interesting.
yeah, my mom found out, and then my mom's like, "That's the final straw. Like, I'm done with you."
Mm.
That's when I had to start growing up quick. Shout
So
out
they
to
separated.
yeah, they separated,
Okay.
and
And how old were you around this point?
I was like 12, 13,
Okay.
and
Who's? I'm assuming, based on what you were saying earlier, it sounds like your mom stayed in the trailer and your dad went somewhere else.
yeah, my dad actually bought like a camper,
Okay.
and he parked it outside the yard.
Oh, that's
So,
rough. That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So he parked outside, and yeah, that was very interesting. So if I ever wanted to hang out with my dad was a cool person, man. Like he, I recently visited him, and he's a very good self. He's a good example for me to be what not to be. Because I
Okay.
remember my dad. We were getting a house. My dad built that house from scratch. It was crazy, and my dad was a crazy builder. And I remember asking my dad recently. I said, "If you could go to college for something back in the day, what were you went for?" And immediately, without hesitation, he said, "Architectural engineering," because he was good with building things. He was just a badass at it. It was so natural for him. And yeah, life full of regrets. And I was just like, nah, I ain't trying to be like that. Fuck that. Like if I feel like I'm good at something, I have a passion for something, I'm gonna go for it. And this
Yeah. If it
podcast
came
is
out
actually
so
one of
quick,
them.
he's been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so grew up with my two younger sisters. Life was good for a little while, except school. We were the only Hispanics in school. It was full of white people,
Makes
and
sense, Indiana.
we would get yeah, and we got picked on a lot. So I dealt with bullying quite a bit up until actually all through high school. I ended up dropping out of high school when I was in 12th grade. Most people are
Oh,
surprised
okay.
when they hear that. It's like, why'd you drop out of 12th grade? It's like, my childhood is so fucking foggy, dude. Like, I can't explain it. Like, I didn't know what credits were until the the beginning of 12th grade. I didn't know what credits were
Makes
until
sense.
my counselor came in and she's like, you realize you're not going to be able to graduate, right? Like, you're going to have to do some kind of summer school after this year, and then you have a whole summer to make up for like this many credits, which is almost impossible. So I'm like, what you're saying is that I should just drop out. She's like, I'm not saying that, but she's saying that I'm saying you should work harder. And I'm like, nah, I need to drop out. And I felt so stupid, dude, because like I said, man, all that shit happened, and I had to grow up quick, and then I didn't have the right guidance. My childhood is, I don't know, dude, it's so fucking weird. Like, it's so foggy. I just don't know how I don't know how I survived. It's weird. So grew up. Everything was cool at home for a little while. Like I said, Christmases was great. So let's talk about the good times. My dad, my mom, they were happy as fuck. I remember them to this day being so happy, cooking together for breakfast. All the holidays, we group up with my family on both sides sometimes, and we all just chill before all the bullshit happened. Uh, so my love for video games started coming from my dad. Like I said, like I explained my dad's childhood a little bit. It's rough as fuck. So my dad's objective to be the best dad in his mind was to spoil us with stuff that he's never had. And one of the things he used to spoil me with was video games. Like I still remember opening the Nintendo 64 on Christmas and opening like 7 fucking games. So this dude dropped like over $1,000 on me on that Christmas. I remember that. So yeah, I had all these games. I played Nintendo 64, me and my sisters with that Donkey Kong, the Mario, Smash Bros, uh, all that stuff. So I started real young with video games. Um, did all that. Things were good. I remember like my 10th birthday came around. I don't remember which birthday it was, but I remember I ended up getting a PS2, and then I had that for years. Like even when the 360 came out, I remember when the PS3 came out, I still had a PS2 because I was poor. That's when like after everything happened, I still had all that. Uh, so life was good for a while. We grew up doing that. Um, so my parents ended up getting separated. That awkwardness where like my dad's literally out there in the front yard living in a camper, just yeah, he's a very outdoors person, so he would have campfires out there, and I would chill out there with him a lot. He'd always be drinking because of the situation that he's in, and that's the only thing he knew is how to deal with situations. Is him drinking, and then my mom, she's just working. I still remember her, man, like working 12-hour shifts, fucking just dead ass tired, just trying to raise us three. And then I remember when anything would happen around the house, if my dad wasn't there to fix it, I'd have to be the one to fix it because I had to grow up quick. And YouTube was more my mentor than anything. Like if the toilet fucked up, some kind of plumbing, if the roof, something happened, because I remember one time literally a tree fell through the damn roof, so I had to find a way how to fix it. So yeah, YouTube taught me a lot. So shout out to YouTube for that. Yeah, so I did that.
Well, hold on before you move on. You mentioned two sisters. You have two sisters. Are those your only siblings?
Okay, well I have the younger. She's a half sister. Yeah, we're 2 years apart, and then I got the youngest sister. She's actually my only full-blooded sister. She's 4 years below me, and then I got two older half brothers. One from my mom's side, one from my dad's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a couple of siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever your mom was working those long shifts, what did you guys do at the house? Like, did you have a babysitter? Or you guys were kind of like watched yourselves. Did you
Watched
watch
ourselves.
them?
Yeah, we watched
Yeah.
it. We watched. I think up until I was like 9, 10 years old. Yeah, yeah. After everything happened, I would just watch us because during the week we would go to school, then we would come back from school, and then it would be around 3 o'clock, and now we're just there chilling till like probably I want to say like 5, 6, 7 o'clock sometimes, and then my mom would come home, and she did her thing. God bless her heart. Like she still managed to come out and cook for us, clean and stuff, and then just pass out and all that. So it wasn't until I was like I said, that's another fuzzy thing. Like I don't know why I never caught on to this because I feel like I was so into video games. I was just like, I didn't get my first job till I was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
So
Video games are an escape for
yeah,
some people.
it really was. But yeah, so
What was that first job at 20 years old?
I worked at a what the hell was it? I don't remember. Oh, it was actually my mom's place.
The carpentry thing?
Yeah, it was at my mom's. My mom got me a job there. It was pretty easy.
What were you doing?
So my mom made the cabinets. There's a line where these cabinets in the doors, like the front doors, they were on a conveyor belt, and they would get spray painted.
Okay.
So
She like worked at a factory.
yeah, factory. Yeah, it was definitely a
okay.
factory. Yeah. So there's different sections of it. Like I would sand it, do 2 hours of sanding, go to break, come back, and then I moved to the next session to where I would paint it. And then after 2 hours of that, I would wipe. After we paint it, there's like 7 of us there wiping it down and stuff. So yeah, that's what we did.
What about your sisters?
What about them?
Did they work there too, or did they? At what age
Uh,
did they decide to leave too, or
uh,
do you all move down in Texas?
it was just who moved down to Texas. Yeah, all of us
Mm.
moved down to Texas.
Oh, so your sisters are here now?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, okay, okay.
well, okay. That's we're kind of like jumping everywhere. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, all of us came down. My sister had a boyfriend at the time. She's still with him to this day. They're married, happily married with 2 kids now. My sister, they both tried out Texas for 6 months. They fucking hated it, so they moved back up to Indiana. They live in Indianapolis now.
Okay.
So yeah, they're doing really well. They're doing very well for themselves. And
That's
then
awesome.
my other sister, she's in Indiana as well. She's up there doing her thing. She's like doing something with nursing. I don't know, something
Okay.
like that. But yeah.
Did they go to school, or this is all right out of high school?
Yeah, they all went to that trade school I spoke about where my ex went. They went there and they got free schooling, and that's how they got their jobs.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
All right, back to you're 20. You've got your first job.
Yeah.
You're helping build these doors in the factory.
Mhm.
What comes next?
Well, I want to backtrack a little bit because I want to talk about how I had the opportunity to join a clan.
Oh, that
So
was back then.
yeah, it was back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was after you moved to Texas. I thought
No,
we-
no, 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 no.
All right, let's go back to it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So after the PS2, I had that for a couple years. One of my buddies had an extra Xbox 360, and I remember he sold it to me for like $80. I was like, hell yeah, that's a fucking steal at the time, with a really good hard drive. And I remember I bought myself my first like HDMI TV. I remember plugging that in. I'm like, whoa,
Yo,
it
I
looks
remember.
so clear. Like,
It's
I
so
was-
easy. You just plug in one cord.
yeah, you just plug in one cord, dude. I was just like, dude, this is so amazing. Like, I still remember that Xbox logo like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, it looks so white. It looks so green. Holy shit, this looks amazing. And then I got really into Black Ops, the first one.
The very first one.
Mm-hmm. The
All
very
right.
first one. I was playing that for a while. And then as I was playing, I was really fucking good at it, dude. Like, I still remember. I'm not as good as I used to before because of fucking age. This sucks. But
Nah,
I
man,
was
that's a lie. I don't believe that.
Oh.
But we can talk about that later.
so I got really good. I was really good at it. And then I started getting messages from, because you can message each other on Xbox. I started getting messages that people wanted me to join their clans. I was like, what? And then at first I was like, this is cool, but I started getting a lot of them. I'm like, all right, this is kind of sketchy. So I looked it up. I forgot what clan it was, but I remember they had a whole website, everything. And then I remember at the time I was talking to somebody, and we were exchanging voice messages through the Xbox. And he said, hey, we're looking at your stats on the internet. Your KD is amazing. Like, you're out here killing it. We want you to join our clan.
What was your KD?
It was like 3 point something, dude. It was ridiculous. It was a
Okay,
ridiculous
alright.
number. Yeah, it was
bad, not
insane. It was insane. So I lived in northern Indiana, and then the guy said, hey, you want to do some practices with us, do some scrims and whatnot? I was like, yeah, sure. So I played with some of his people. We were all playing together, and it got to a point where he wanted to do a tournament, and the guy said, hey, we're about to do a tournament in Chicago, can you come through? And then I didn't even bother trying asking my mom, because my mom was already struggling. So I was like, I don't have the funds to move over there. He's like, okay, that's fine. He let it slide for like 5 tournaments, and he said, listen, man, if you're gonna be part of this clan, like, you have to join these tournaments, because we want to make you like a big deal, because a lot of these guys want you to come through. It's like, fuck. And I couldn't. I didn't even bother asking my mom. So then I was like, I'm sorry, man, like, I just don't have the funds. I don't have the money to go do it. I was like, damn. I was like, dude, where would I be now at life if I decided to join that clan at like 17 years old, 18 years old?
You'd be exactly where you're at, I would imagine. That game died at some point.
No, but I mean, I still would have went. I still played all the Call of Duties that came out.
Yeah,
All the
wonder
way.
if you can remember the guy's name and see where he's at, and see where they're at.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
But yeah, I could have been like the next Nade Shot prodigy, or something.
All right, so you decided not to do this clan. About how old
Yeah.
were you?
I was like 17, 18 years old.
All right.
And
so
then I
this was
remember I
before you
recently
started
told my
working.
mom about it. I feel like an asshole for telling her, but I was like, "Hey mom, did you know I could have went like almost pro? Like, did you know that my life could have been totally different?" She said, "How?" So I told her about the story, and she was like, "Why didn't you ever tell me?" I said, "Because I knew that you didn't have money at the time." She's like, "I don't." She's like, "I could have worked." She's like, "I had money, I just didn't really spend it because the house was always breaking down."
Yeah.
She's
Would
like,
she have cared enough back then?
Yeah.
Because right now, in retrospect, it's probably like,
Yeah.
damn, I should have jumped on that. But back
Mhm.
then, everybody thought gaming was a waste of time.
Yeah. And I asked her too. I was like, "Would you pay like those bus tickets to go with those guys?" Because they were asking like $80 for a bus ticket, and they were gonna pay
That's
for the
not even that
hotel.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's like, "Yeah, I would have done it for you, a lot."
Mhm.
I was like, "Fuck."
This goes back to a lesson that we talked about in my episode. Like you gotta ask, man, because people are there for you, and you
Yeah.
don't know it. And everybody's just waiting, like wants to help you, and you think that like, what's the word? You feel like you're taking advantage of them, or like you feel like you're a mooch or something. But
Mhm.
really, they've just been sitting there waiting. Like, I'll help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
It took me some time to learn like don't be afraid to ask because you never know.
yeah.
But yeah, my mom said she would have helped me. I was like, "Fuck, dude. Like, I'd be a totally different life right now." It sucks.
I mean, all right, but what other situations can you think of that if you would have done one thing over the other, if you would have gone left instead of right, you would have been living a different life?
A lot.
Yeah.
I
There's
see
a
what.
lot of twists
Yeah.
and turns down the road. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like if I would have never joined the army. I think about that
Yeah.
too. Like if I would have never joined the army, like would I still been with that girl?
Right.
Or like how would have things turned out? But it is what it is.
Yeah, it's draining. It's exhausting to think about all that because like there's so many times you'll never know. Just stick
Never
with
know.
what you got now. Try to be mindful in the present.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can appreciate and understand that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're 17, 18. You have finally decided you're not going to go down this road with the Call of Duty clan.
Mm-hmm.
But at that age, you're probably still in high school, right?
Yeah.
So what was high school like?
Kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I remember I was in freshman year, and some white boy was mad at me. I forgot why, but he was mad at me for something. Some white boy was mad at me. Yeah. And then
you're not gonna get a lot of you're gonna get some hate on that comment.
I don't care. Let him.
All right.
Some white boy was mad at me, and then I remember he called me a fucking spick. I was like, huh? I'm like, what is? I was like, what is that?
mean?
Yeah. I've never heard of that word, spick. And then I go that day I went home and I asked my dad, I'm like, "Dad, what's a spick?" And he just looks at me like, "How do you know that word?" I was like, "Somebody called me that at school." He was pissed. Yeah, he said a lot of things that I don't want to say, but he was mad. And then he still didn't tell me. And so I remember like a few days later I brought it up to him. I was like, "Dad, what does this word mean?" He's like, "Oh, it's like calling a black guy the N-word." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
fuck that guy." I was like, "Okay, that's cool. All right, that's cool." But I didn't do anything
All right,
about
but
it.
it's not though. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah,
right.
well, I mean, it's still a racial slur towards Hispanics.
You're right. It's a racial slur. Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, that's a little fucked up. But he said that to my face, and he said that with friends, so he felt
He's a
cool
high
saying
school
it.
kid.
I don't care. But yeah.
So did you get mad? Did you like fight him? What did you do?
No. I didn't do none of that. I wasn't, Because I knew if I tried to pick a fight with anybody, I would get jumped. Yeah. If he was winning, they let him win. But if I was winning, they would have jumped. Like I already knew. It was just like,
You didn't have a crew?
no.
Damn. Not even other gamer kids? You didn't have any Call of Duty
I did
friends in high school?
I was part of the nerdy. Okay, so you remember Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I was part of
Oh
the
my God.
kids that played Yu-Gi-Oh at the cafeteria. Like I was
Did you
there
have
playing.
a thing on your arm?
No, fuck no. I wasn't that deep. But I did have one of those things that folded out, and then I put it on the ground, like on the table.
Yeah, it's
and I had
close
like
enough.
the
It's
squares.
same thing.
All right, whatever. But that's what I had. It was literally me and like 7 other guys. Like we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh against each other, and I remember people walking by like fucking nerds.
Man, Yu-Gi-Oh is cool.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh
Whatever.
was fun.
I
don't
like
care.
that show a lot.
Welcome.
I
But yeah,
never
I
got
was
into
one of
those
those
parties,
kids.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was one of those kids that played that. But yeah, so I mean, I dropped out of high school, got my first job. That didn't work out. But the first serious job I got was this place that cooked the fruit that you see in yogurt. Like we were
But wait, hold on. I feel like we're like glossing over an important thing that happened to you. Was that just like some story you wanted to throw out there? Was there like some life lesson in that this guy like attacked you verbally? Like what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. So, all right, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what I learned. Okay, so I'm grateful that I was picked on in high school a lot, and the fact that I couldn't do anything because I didn't want to get jumped. Now, people might call me a pussy for that. Okay, but whatever. I don't care. I was always the smart one. You know, the pen is stronger than the might or whatever. There's a quote that says that.
Pen
What
is
is
stronger than the sword? The
this pen is
mightier than
stronger?
the sword.
Yeah, the pen is mightier than the sword. Okay.
Listen. If you ever actually went to like some training, like they always tell you, it doesn't matter how much you learn. It's always smarter to not fight than to fight. It's always smarter to try to get out of it if you can do so reasonably.
And I did that every time.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like high school taught me how to talk to people. So that's another thing that's going on. So high school taught me how to talk to people, how to be the mediator, you know, that peacemaker, the peacekeeper, like all that shit. Like, yeah, that's what it taught me. So I definitely take that. So I'm grateful for what happened in high school because it taught me a lot about people and it taught me a lot how to handle people. And it's great. Yeah, life lessons right there.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
All right, now continue where you were at.
Okay, so I dropped out of high school, did the job. I've met my first everything. God, that was a disaster.
Yikes.
Yeah, first everything. I was on and off with her. It was a bad relationship. The first 2 years were cool, but it lasted 5 years. Way too much longer. We were off and on, but I definitely learned a lot from that relationship. So there's something I want to tell you guys that are listening. Okay, you're gonna get in at least one relationship in your life where you fall in love. It's your first everything. It's your first this, first that, and then the older you get, you start to learn more about life. And there's gonna come to a point where you have to learn how to fucking walk away from the bullshit. Like, you have to. And like for me, for instance, I was in a toxic relationship. And we break up and I would go back to her. Break up, she would come back to me. Like it was very bad. And when you find yourself in that situation, know that you're in a very unhealthy relationship. And these are one of the things I do regret in life that I wasted in my 20s, is that I wasted a lot of time in my 20s. And that was one of the biggest things. And the fact that I went through all that, I had some childhood friends after high school. I lost a lot of memories. I lost a lot of strong bonds with them because I chose a toxic relationship over my bros. And yeah, don't do that. If you listen to this, don't
That'll
do that.
happen, man.
Yeah,
That'll happen.
It'll happen,
I have a
but-
similar story.
yeah. So just don't freaking do it, guys. So
Yeah.
I met her 5 years later. You know, whatever. But I digress. I'm gonna come back to that. No, I'm not gonna go back to that. I just explained it. But yeah, okay, so 20 years
No,
old.
we're gonna go back to that,
No.
but yeah. No, all right, all
Uh,
right. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
uh, yeah, I'll talk about it. I don't care. I'm just being a hard ass.
Okay.
So 20 years old, met her. I got my first real job where I cooked fruit for a yogurt company. It was a contractor that they were contracted to many yogurt companies like Yoplait, Chobani, Activia. All that fruit that you see in there, we cooked all
Yeah.
that fruit. And
That's interesting.
it's hell. It fucking sucks. It's bad. Yeah. So like my first job was
Describe that process. What does that mean? You
all right,
cook the fruit?
say I walk in, we have to make there's 6 different lines. Each line is doing a different serum. So say I walk in and then I get assigned to
Serum.
serum. I get assigned to like line 3, which is strawberry Chobani. So I have the job to take care of the strawberries. So so mind you, we're in a facility where it's freezing. We have to wear coats and shit. It's freezing because they have to keep the fruit fresh, frozen. So I literally had to grab 50-pound boxes of fruit, frozen, pick them up and slam them on a table that had a bevel on it to break them apart, open it, pour it into a cart all day.
That's all you did?
Yeah, that's all I did. 12-hour shifts.
What?
Yeah, just
Were you like
breaking
super strong?
Yes.
at the end of it?
I was. I remember my first 2 weeks in there, dude. It was hell.
Yeah. Were you
Gosh.
lopsided? Like one side of your body was stronger than the other?
I would have to switch because we had the good thing about the job is that it was swing shift. So I work 2 days, get off 2 days, work 3 days, get off 2 days. Like it was like that. So the first
Alright.
day I'd be there with my right side, and the next side, like my whole side sore as hell. I wake up and I got to work on the left side. It was insane, dude.
Okay, so you evened out. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you count it out in reps? 1, 2.
No, I
8.
didn't. I had to count
1,
boxes
2.
is what I did. I had to do a
Oh,
lot of
man.
math. I had to do weight. I had to do a lot of weight math
Okay.
crap. So I worked there for
Yeah, go ahead.
so I worked there for 2 years, 2.5 years. Why did I quit? Oh yeah, I quit there because I got a job as a welder, which is
Okay.
interesting. Yeah, I got a job there I got a job somewhere else as a welder.
Well, let's slow down first. Let's slow down. Hold on. Let's go back. So you broke the boxes of strawberries.
Well, I mean,
put
every
them
day
on
was
the
a different
conveyor
fruit.
Okay, so the boxes of fruit, and then they go down the conveyor belt. Where do they go?
Okay, yeah, so I poured in the carts, and then the carts, I would push the carts into an elevator. It'll go up an elevator where the cooks on the second floor, they would take the carts and pour the fruit into like a giant fucking oven. Into like a giant cooker, I mean. And then it'll cook it to like the serum it needed to be.
So they melt it down into like a thing.
Yeah, like a serum. Yeah.
That's
It wasn't
so
melted
weird.
because you still get those chunks, but it'll cook
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then you'll get like a serum, like a syrup, and then like little chunks of whatever fruit it is. It's
And
pretty
then they
insane.
put that serum in the bottom of the yogurt tubs.
Yeah. Well, they would mix it like literally like so after that was done, the machine after it was done, we would connect it to like these big old steel totes that hold like 2,000 pounds of this shit. So we just
Okay.
put it in there and then we'll ship it to the yogurt people. So somehow they would mix that serum with their own yogurt thing and then do their thing with it.
Okay. All right. I think I've learned
Yeah.
enough about yogurt. Let's
Yeah.
move on. You decided you don't want to do that anymore. Somehow you got into welding.
Yeah. So got into welding, and it's funny because I only kept that job for like a month and a half because that's when I convinced my mom about moving to Texas.
All right.
Yeah. So I ended up moving. I remember I was excited to get the job, and then I was working with another guy. So the welding job was I was welding city bus frames, big old freaking things. So it was just me and one other guy. We had to knock out 2 bus frames a week. So that's how long it took to weld just one bus frame. It was insane. And then I remember he was so happy that I started working there because he said he was doing this job by himself for a couple months. And then I feel bad because I remember telling him, "Hey, I put in my 2 weeks notice," and he started.
You just started. Like
Yeah.
yesterday?
He started laughing. He's like, "Oh," He's like, "You serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. I'm moving to Texas." He's like, "Okay." He was so disappointed. Poor guy.
Yeah. Well,
Poor
at least you
guy.
didn't like get there and hate it and hate him. That was
Mhm.
probably his first thought. Oh, God, we lost him already. He just got here.
Yeah, that sucks. So yeah,
So before, let's see, you brought up your mom again, and it reminded me that I skipped over this question because we were talking about something else. But what is a memorable lesson that you've learned from either of your parents, or maybe both? I don't know.
a memorable lesson. Okay, so what I learned. Okay, so some of you've seen. Yeah, my logo is right there on the bottom. People, well, when people watch the video, they could see the logo. But I plan on switching up the logo. Like I already explained what the gold lion was, but I want to work on a new logo to where the eyes are blue because my dad has bright blue eyes. The reason why I want to make the eyes blue is because my dad taught me how to see the world. He literally taught me what not to do. He's the reason why I don't drink. He's the reason why I don't smoke cigarettes. I can't stand the smell of cigarettes. Just brings back too many memories. Uh, yeah, he helped me get the vision of life of what not to be. So it's crazy. It's kind of ironic that he's literally one of the biggest fuck ups I've ever known in my life due to unfortunate circumstances. But at the same time, he is the greatest lesson that I've ever had in my life. So yeah, there's that. That's what I learned from my dad. My mom. I want to incorporate a rose in my logo because one, my mom said that when she passes, she wants me to leave roses on her gravestone, like consistently. But more importantly, is that my mom taught me how to love. Yeah, she taught me a lot how to deal with to be what's that word? Hmm.
Compassionate.
Yeah, compassionate. Just do what you got to do for your loved ones because like I said, she did a lot for us. And looking back at it, she did struggle a lot. And that's actually one of my biggest drives in life is to make sure she's taken care of before I take care of myself. Cause yeah, but yeah, she taught me how to love in life. She taught me how to respect people, how to treat women. Like I don't. It's like I've never to this day never cheated on a woman, cheated on any of my girlfriends ever, because I seen what that can do to people. Like I think I've only seen my mom cry once in my life, and that shit broke my heart. I was like, I do not want to inflict that kind of pain on a woman just by cheating on her.
Hmm.
So, yeah, she told me
Where
how
is
to.
your mom right now?
She's living with me.
Yeah, but where's she at right now? Like, is she at the grocery store? Is she at work? Is she over there?
She's
Can we meet her?
she's cooking. She doesn't like being on camera.
That's fine. She could just say hi. That's it.
But at the same time,
Tell her.
I don't want her to be shown to the public either.
Oh, okay. I get what
Yeah,
you're saying. All right.
because I
We'll
don't
skip
know.
over that then.
I'm pretty sure I'll be much bigger than this 5 years from now, and I don't want anybody.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to keep my family life very private.
That's smart forethought.
Yeah.
So I feel like you just gave me the answer to this question, but it's related. Who were some of your role models growing up?
Definitely my parents. For sure. That's really it. That yeah, my parents. They were the biggest role models to. Like I said, like their struggles. Like I still don't get it, man. Like to this day, I don't understand why I'm different. I have every reason to be a fuck up, dude. Every reason. I could
Because you
be,
were smart enough to learn from their mistakes.
but like, what caused me to be that smart? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Video games. I don't know.
some right? I don't know what it is, dude. Like, something kept me, still keeping me from this day to like not giving up and stay away from that shit. It's insane, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and you're loyal to that idea too. Not even drinking. Like that's a pretty big deal. Have you ever drank in your life?
Yeah, I have, but only on like I've never been drunk in my life. I could say that. I've never been drunk, but I mean, I'll drink, have a few kickbacks every now and then, but I will not get drunk.
Mm.
Yeah, never get drunk.
Um. So describe to me one of the greatest days of your life.
One of the greatest days of my life is that opening up that Nintendo 64 on Christmas,
Oh,
because
nice.
that was the catalyst me of my gaming career. Like I told my dad this before too. Like I thanked him already. I said, "Dad, I know you made a lot of mistakes in life, and I want to let you know that, and I want to let you know that you're the reason why I'm this good of a person. Is that you made a lot of mistakes, and you see it that I never gave my parents any trouble. I wasn't a bad kid at all. I was kind of bad, but I kept it low key because I was good at it. But yeah, I never caused them any trouble. I was never that disrespectful asshole towards them. Nothing but love to them. I was yeah. And then another thing is that I thanked my dad also. Is like, thank you for. It's like I understand why you spoiled me so much. It's because you never had the luxury of being loved by your parents, and you translated that to me by buying me stuff. Although it's not the greatest, but it's still some kind of love, and I appreciate it. And that love that you showed me is you is is my drive and my passion for video games is how it was created. So that's what I'm most grateful of in my childhood.
Yeah, that must have been really touching for him to hear.
Yeah, he cried.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little soft-hearted guy. He's soft-hearted.
So let's get caught up. You're almost 30 now, but in your timeline, we've only gotten to around the age of 23. You were welding for a couple of months. You convinced your mom to move down to Texas. Now you, your mom, and your grandfather live in a house in Texas.
So came to Texas. I love it. Texas is amazing. I love the weather. I love the people. People are so nice here, dude. Up where I'm from, people are dickheads. Like, yeah, people are dickheads, dude. And then I come down here, everybody's so nice. Like, people at the gas station, people at the grocery store. Everybody's like, "Howdy, how you doing?" I'm like, "What?" At first, I was just like, "Hey," because it was part of me, and I didn't like it. I was like, "I want to be as friendly as these guys." So I started going out, being all jolly. So I was like,
Being all jolly.
being all jolly. Yeah. So that happened. Yeah. So that's what happened. So I love Texas. I love everything. People complain about the heat, but they never really grew up with snow. So fuck the snow again. Yeah. So no, yeah. I love the weather here. It's amazing. I love it here, dude. Uh so yeah, I mean I already spoke about how I was here for about 6 months, then I went to the army, did my thing, came back.
How
Uh
long were you there for?
I was only in it for like little over a year because I developed I developed an injury during that time because I was working out, but I never did conditioning like running. So while while during my job training AIT, I developed this injury called a hip stress fracture. So
Oh, dude, I
yeah,
know. All right, yeah, go ahead. I got a
yeah,
story after that though.
yeah. So for people that don't know, it's like you got your socket of your hip into your right here, and I was doing so much running because I went from literally 0 to 100. I never really ran, so and to like running every day. So my body didn't get used to it, I guess. So then I guess your body creates this fluid between your joints so it could lubricate it to keep moving. My hip, I guess I overdid over exhausted my those glands that make that lubricant, and eventually it was just bone to bone contact. And then with all that running, I was still doing all that bone to bone contact, and I developed these hip stress fractures, like microscopic stress cracks in my hip. I had to be on crutches. I had to come home, heal for a month, and then I had to go back. And I was there for about 2 months, and then I came back. After I came back, I went to my unit, and we tried running, and I couldn't. The pain kept coming back, and I remember the doctor telling me while at the base, he told me that you're gonna deal with this injury for the rest of your life. It'll never go away. It's like, fuck, that sucks. And even to this day, I still have issues with it sometimes. Like if I'm walking at the mall for about 2 hours, I could feel it hurting. So
Damn.
I'm wondering if it's my muscle or if it's actually my hip, because it's not the same pain, but it's the same It's the same area. So I'm hoping it's a muscle or something. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it's fixable. But yeah,
Have you gone to the doctor recently about it?
no, it's not that severe. But I already know. But yeah, that's what happened. So I couldn't run while we had to do our basic physical training. My sergeant seen it, and he said I have to put you on permanent light duty, which means I have to do all this shit work, and I can never get deployed to go overseas and serve my country. But it sounded cool and all. I was like, oh, I could just come one weekend a month, make this free money, do nothing, never worry about getting deployed. But it didn't feel right. I was like, there's people actually out here that's putting in work and they actually have to get deployed, and and I'm making the same amount of money as they are. It didn't feel right. And plus also, I got certain vibes from older ranks, from higher ranks in my base, in my unit, and I just didn't like the vibes. I was like, I gotta get out of this. Like this don't feel right. So I ended up getting honorable discharge due to a health injury.
Do you get disability now?
I'm working on it, but I mean that was like years ago. But I never really wanted the disability. Like I said, I just feel, I don't know, I just feel like shit taking anything from the army. But then people tell me, it's like, well, the army did this to you. I'm like, no, I chose to join the army, so the army didn't do anything. So it's my fault. Like I don't know. It's free money. It could be free money, but I don't need it. Yeah,
That's rough, dude.
Yeah.
So there's a guy I know. He's been like trying to go. His whole life has been like public service.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be a cop, and he wanted to be a firefighter, and he wanted to be like this and that, and like eventually he settled on joining the military, and he already had a college degree, so he was going in to become an officer. And he had the exact same story.
Wow, really?
Yeah, he's been trying so hard to get in. He finally got into the program he wanted. He was going through training, and he broke his hip. And they sent him home after like a little less than a year. I think it was like 8 months. Yeah, I always felt bad for him because like that was something that like he was really passionate about his whole life. He wanted to do this, and he finally gets there and like
they're like, nope.
Yeah.
Luck of the draw, I guess.
So you got out.
Mm-hmm.
You're back home. You're 24, 25 around this time, I'm guessing.
Yep.
We heard the story about the girl. You come back and she's, you broke up. What next?
The next part. Well, actually, I missed a pretty big part. Fuck, I gotta go back. So before I moved to Texas, I was with. Oh yeah. So I came to Texas right after the army. So after I came back from the army, actually, this is perfect. I'm stupid. This is perfect timing. I'm stupid. God, there's so much of my life. I forgot where fits where. But so I come back, we break up. My sister's still here with her boyfriend, which is now her husband. So she's still here with her future husband. And then, like I said, I told you they moved up, but I forgot to mention that I moved up with them.
Moved up to what?
Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
So
when you got out of the you went to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got home, happy, whatever, broke up. My sister's like, hey, we don't want to go to Texas. We don't want to stay in Texas no more. We hate it. Do you want to come up with us? Because me and my sister are very close. And she was worried about not having any family up there. So I was like, yeah, I'll go with you. So I go up there with her. I live with her for a little bit. I had a basic job, a forklift driver with my brother-in-law there for a little while. But as I was going, I was working so much, and then finally everything just kind of hit me at once. This was about probably 3 months in, me being in Indianapolis. Everything just hit me at once, dude. Where I was living out with my sister, they got an apartment, and I had nowhere to sleep, so I had to sleep in their laundry room on the floor. The only thing I had that was separating me from the floor was an air mattress, but eventually it popped because God bless his heart, But my nephew at the time, he was like 2 years old. He liked to go in there and jump on it, so he popped it.
What?
So I had to take it and fold it a certain way to where it fit me just perfectly to where I had to do that. So yeah, that happened, and I was just really contemplating my life, like, what the fuck am I doing? This and that. And then another month came by, and Christmas comes along. And then I remember, I was still keeping my emotions in me because I didn't want to share with my sister because she had a lot going on in her life too. But my sister loves Christmas. She's always loved Christmas. I remember my sister.
Best holiday.
Yeah, my sister. She put up her Christmas tree. She decorated it beautifully. My sister asked me, "Hey, can you take a picture of me, my kid, and my husband in front of the tree?" And I remember, fuck, dude. I remember. The feelings are slowly coming back. I remember looking at the screen while taking a picture, and I looked at it and I was like, "Holy shit, she's happy as fuck right now, like so happy." And then I took the picture. Then I gave her the phone, and she's like, "You want to take a picture with us?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm okay." Remember, I went back to that laundry room. I started bawling my eyes out, and it showed how much I don't have in life, and like all the mistakes I made, all the wasted time I made. Like I have nothing. I have nothing to show for it. And I'm like 24 at the time. And there I am just crying in my pop mattress with my pile of clothes, like literally right there. Just bawling my eyes out, contemplating life, like what the fuck am I doing? My sister's knocking on the door, she hears me crying. She's like, "Are you okay?" I say, "Yes." I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Okay." And then she just went upstairs. She believed me, but I lied to her, and I was just like, I was like, okay. So after my crying, I was like, all right, I got to do something with my life, bro. So I ended up going to sleep. It was my day off the next day. Woke up, everybody's out at work, and I'm just home. I'm at their apartment by myself. So I'm sitting there laying on the floor because they had a comfortable floor for some reason. The carpet was really good. Yeah. So I was laying on the floor, and I remember just like looking at the Christmas tree. I was just thinking, I truly want to be happy around this time, but I can't. It's hard. I'm not happy at all. And that's when I realized I officially hit rock bottom. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm done. Like, doesn't get much worse than this. So then I was like, how do I make my life better? I remember I went on YouTube and I remember I just typed it up. I said, how to live a happy life. Yeah. And the first video that popped up was this man named Jim Rohn. You know who Jim Rohn is?
Nah.
Yeah, okay. He's a fucking badass. So he's a badass. I run into this man. I watch his video. It's a seminar that it was a recording of a seminar he did in 1981. So it was an older video. But when he spoke, man, I remember this seminar thing was like 4 hours long, 4 different videos. I watched the whole thing. He was the first person in my life. When I heard him speak, it made fucking sense, dude.
You have to find something from that video and put in little audio clips right here.
I could do that. I still remember the video.
Do it.
So yeah. So
he'll probably see.
But literally, like I still remember it. Literally, the first sentence he says, in the video, is that he goes up to the crowd. You know, he goes up in his podium and he just looks at the crowd and he says, "Here's the challenge in life. You can always have more than what you want because you can always become more than who you are." I was like, mind blown. Immediately. Literally, that's the first sentence he says. I was like, huh? What? And then he just kept talking and kept talking. I was like, dude, holy crap. Like, he makes...
How long was this video?
The first video was an hour and a half, but the whole video series is 4 hours because it's a whole seminar that he did. So It's like
And what's his name again? I feel like
Jim
people are gonna want to go check this out.
Jim Rohn. Jim Jim. Rohn is spelled Rohn. He's a motivational speaker. He was a business consultant, but he's mostly known for being a co-founder and CEO for Herbalife. But
Herbalife.
yeah, Herbalife. Yeah.
You're gonna get some hate on that one, dude. Herbalife has a bad rep.
Oh, now they. I mean, listen. Jim Rohn's still a badass. I don't give a fuck. But he passed. He passed. You know what's ironic about this too? He passed. He died. I was mad, dude, when I found out he died. I was like, dude, he fucking died.
Oh, he died.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So,
I was gonna
yeah.
say you got to get him on the podcast.
No, he died. So
All right.
when he and then I looked up his death. He died in 2009, which is the year I was supposed to graduate high school, which is the year that I dropped out of high school. I was
Interesting.
like, yeah, very interesting. I was like, dude, holy shit. Like, this dude died when I dropped out of high school. That's fucking insane, dude.
When you dropped out, he just couldn't take it. He was watching you from afar.
Yeah. So, yeah, I listened to that man, and it started. That was the catalyst. Homie Jim Rohn was the catalyst to start my road to personal development. The whole subject of it.
How old were you?
I was like 24, 25,
Okay. How old are you now?
29.
Okay, so you've been doing this for like 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Okay, no, I was 23. Yeah, I had to be like 23 because it was like soon I got out the army. So yeah, 23. I've been doing this for a while, dude. Yeah, man. So I did that. Fuck, dude. I've never read a book a day in my life. I remember he preached about reading books. The first book he preached about the lot was Think and Grow Rich.
Books are stupid. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich and The Richest Man in Babylon. Like he used to say in that seminar, he brought it up a lot. Read this book, read these books, read these books. I'm like, books are stupid. I've never read a book. I have ADHD. I can't sit there and read a book. Da 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 da. Dude, that first month, I read 9 books. I went from reading no books in my life to that first month finding personal development. I read 9 fucking books, dude. Mind blowing. I was like, holy crap, what are you typing?
Notes.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's insane, dude. So, it started everything. And then I got really into personal development. Eventually, I made my own Instagram. And I started doing personal development videos on everything that I learned. Yeah, man. It just started everything.
When did you start your Instagram account? Because that's probably where you're seeing the most success right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I started it probably when I was 25. So, yeah, 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. I'm having flashbacks. But yeah, I lived in Indianapolis for a while. So as I was living in Indianapolis, you know, I was going through my journey. I mean, I still have the same notebook. This is the same notebook that I started because Jim Rohn talked about journaling a lot.
Mm.
And let me see. Like, oh, did I write a date in
Journaling is
it?
huge.
Yeah.
Take a moment, everybody. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Journaling is a big deal. I know you've heard it before. I know you've let it go in one ear and out the other. But take this time and listen to the words I'm saying. Journaling is dope.
Yeah.
Try it.
Journaling is definitely the thing. Yeah. Like just this first page here, dude, is 4 years old. Yeah. I remember.
It's so fun to go back and look at it.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. So, dude, you know what? I actually want to find my very first journal where I started everything. Hold on.
Oh, all right.
Found it.
You found it?
I found it.
All right, no more Sherry's
Look,
berries.
it's dated. It's dated from 11/13/2016 to 12/31/2017.
Gold Lion has found his journal, and he's flipping through it,
That's
finding some interesting stuff to share with us. What do you got for
Started
us?
everything. So I'm gonna read out my very first entry in this journal that started journaling. It's crazy. So apparently it's 2:19 a.m. at November 13th, 2016. So this was only 3 years ago? I don't even feel like it. 4 years ago. Wow. Okay. So I wrote, at this point in my life, I have read 6 books on personal development and finance. This has changed my life forever. For for now, I see more and more differently, and for the first time in my life, I have a true goal to be financially free. I have ideas and steps that can get me to where I need to go. I know the road will be difficult, but the discipline on reading and learning, it will come to pass. I write this to start I write this journal to the fact of my virtual mentor Jim Rohn, for he is who shed for he who shedded light into my soul, and I take this advice from him for the rest of my life. And 4 years
So
later,
one
here
of
we
your role
are.
models.
I'm still talking about him 4 years later.
Yeah.
And then next I put, I'm currently living in my sister's apartment in Indianapolis in her laundry room, clothes on the floor, and I slept on a popped air mattress, which I have to inflate with my own lungs every night because of
With
my
own lungs.
yeah, with my own lungs every night because of the hole that my nephew put in. I use this as a drive to get to who I want to be. Do good, be great, be awesome. Yeah.
Good shit.
And then I have like notes from that first seminar that he put. It's insane, dude. Like his
What are
quotes.
some of the notes? Read me some of the notes.
So it's like quotes that he said. So he says, "Time is more valuable than money. Things don't just happen. Things happen just. Best place to start a conversation is sincerity. Sincerity is not a test of truth because it's possible to be sincerely wrong."
It sounds like some Gary Vee shit.
No. Ideas
They
can be
got some similarities.
Yeah. Ideas can be life-changing. Just one more can unlock more possibilities. I like that one. Yeah. Mysteries of the
That's
mind.
true.
Some do it, some don't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, ways to get most out of your day. Just be thankful, listen well, take good notes. Don't be a follower, be a student. Learn to take advice, but don't take orders. I like how he said
I
that.
like that.
Yeah. Learn to take advice, just don't take orders. Make sure what you do is the product of your own conclusion of life. Yeah, dude. I might have to read over this book on my own time. There's a lot of shit on here. Oh, flashback.
Yeah,
Back
sounds
when-
like some interesting stuff, man. He sounds like somebody that you can learn a lot from. It's
Yeah.
weird to see this type of stuff, that there's like motivational speakers who like give you like the little tidbits of, you know, life knowledge that they've picked up along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those people are super real and genuine, and like they've got a lot of valuable things to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that's another lesson taken away from that is, you know, don't assume that just because they call themselves a motivational speaker that they're all bullshit.
Yeah.
Some of them actually can hit something in you, and give some of them a shot.
Yeah, this man definitely started everything for me. Yeah, one of the things that he said that wow, fuck, brain fart, I forgot. Whatever, it's gone. Whatever,
Yeah.
it's gone. But yeah, so I started doing the whole journal thing. I started doing that, and then some months down the line, things didn't really work out with me and my brother-in-law. And then my brother-in-law ended up kicking me out of his apartment. So I had to move back to here in Texas with my mom.
Do you want to talk about that story and what happened between you and your brother-in-law?
No,
All right.
it's just
Moving
we
on.
had a disagreement about something, and it turned out to be more than just that. And then, yeah, so I ended up getting kicked out. It wasn't no like physical altercation, nothing crazy like that. It's just, yeah, it's just
Shit happens.
shit happens. So so that happened. So now I'm in Texas with this newfound vision of life. Like my mind is just completely open. I'm here and I'm looking for a job. Now I didn't just want any job. I was also studying the law of attraction, which is very real. Okay, so I was studying the law of attraction, and so I was like, okay, I want a job where I could help people because, you know, I have this new light in my life and I wish to give that to others. So I'm looking for jobs. and I run into a job, and I was hesitant to apply to it because remember the school I told you about that my ex went to and she ended up cheating on me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the school that I was hesitant to apply to. So I ended up working there. So I got the job, ended up working there. I became what you call a residential advisor. So like I said, kids. So what this place is? It's called Gary Job Corps. It's a it's a free trade, government funded trade school facility for at risk youth. Is what they call it. I don't like that term, but that's what they call them. So a lot of these kids come from nothing. A lot of them have not the best upbringing. So some of them decide to come live there for a while till they knock out their schooling. So, and there's like 12 different dormitories, and I was in charge of one of them. I was in charge of 80 kids. I had to know other names. I had to learn who they are, everything. And it was one, and that's what started another whole fucking journey, dude. Damn. So I worked there for about, yeah, it was 2016. I worked there till the end of the beginning of 2019. From there, I was everything, dude. Like I was these kids' big brother, their uncle, their dad, their best friend they never had. Uh, I did a lot. I helped out a lot of kids there. I taught them everything that I was taught. I taught myself to help me get out of what I was going through. And a lot of these kids had some fucked up stories, man. A lot of them have some crazy stories that they went through. And yeah, I'm very grateful for that job. I helped out a lot of kids, and I still talk to a few of them to this day. A lot of them are doing well. Some of them still thank me to this day for everything that I've done for them. I'm proud to say that I helped 13 kids out of suicide. I talked them out of it. Good thing some of them came straight to my office saying that, they want to kill themselves. Some of them, I walked into their rooms and I see them doing something weird and they ended up telling me what they were trying to do. Yeah. Yeah. Helped out a lot of kids there, man. Any Gary kids listening, shout out to y'all. I still remember y'all. Insane.
That's deep.
Yeah, dude.
There's a lot to talk about there. Yeah, that's interesting. How long were you there for?
For about 3 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I think that's the longest you've stayed at any job.
Yeah, it was. As long as I stayed at any job.
That's good. You found something there for sure.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, it was dope, man. It was a good run while it lasted.
So then you left. 3 years down the road, you ended up leaving the job. Why?
So the facility is under contractors to oversee it. A new contractor came in, and the job that I had at the time, the residential advisor, they said that I need to have a bachelor's degree because it's considered like teaching. It's like a teaching thing, which clearly is not. You're literally babysitting kids, like grown kids.
Have you ever thought about going back to school?
Going to school?
Yeah. Getting your GED and going to college?
I have my GED. That's how I got these jobs.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
cool.
I have my GED.
We missed that part. At what point did you decide to finish that up?
As soon as I dipped out of high school, because I knew I had to get a job to help my mom.
Ah, all right, cool.
So I got that immediately.
That's a big piece, man. Yeah, all right. So you could go to college.
Yeah, I can, but
if you wanted to.
If I wanted to, yeah, it's a big if. But, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, college is cool and everything, but it's just not for me. I'm not harping on it. It's just what I want to do in life. College can't give me. I don't need it. I don't need a degree from anything to do what I want to do. So,
okay.
But yeah, I mean, I know it's gonna be a rough road, but I mean, it's gonna be worth it. Definitely worth it.
So, 3 years down the line, you leave this job. Mm-hmm. I interrupted. So continue. What happened there?
So I left the job, and then I was unemployed for a little while because I couldn't find a job that I wanted to have. Like I'm like to me, like still to this day, I'm stubborn to what job I want to do, which it's kind of an issue, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I'm not the type to just get any job. But now that I have a set goal and there's certain things I need funded for, it's like it's helping me deal with just get any job and just to put in my head it's temporary. But after the job, I was unemployed for about 6 months, and then I started job hunting, and then I started job hunting in Austin, and then I found a job offer to work at a front desk at a gaming lounge called Evo's Esports Arena.
I've
So,
never heard about that. Can you what's Evos? What is that?
well, it was a esports lounge that where you go in and just play games, but they ended up shutting down
Okay.
due to financial circumstances.
Did you tell me more about that?
So, I went there. I spoke to the owner, real cool guy. I told him, okay, I just don't want to work here. I also do advertising. I'm good with Instagram, so I know how to do Instagram marketing, social media marketing. He was interested, so we worked something out. I ended up working for him as a freelance marketer for a little while. And then that's somewhere down the line. That's where I met you. Uh, did the whole summer camp thing. That was fun. That was fun, dude. I actually want to do it again this year, man. Like I know,
I mean, yo, we can talk. We can talk after.
yeah,
There's some stuff happening. I don't know. I think you'd be interested to hear it.
cool. So so my role in the summer camp was I was the resilience coach, but I feel like I didn't really fulfill that role because I was busy doing other things for the owners. And this time I actually want to be more involved in it. I think it'd be super cool to actually help kids out because that's still in me, helping kids out be best versions of themselves, and I have all the tools necessary to do it. Yeah, that's still my drive. I want to do it. So I worked there for a little while. They shut down after I think it was like 6 months. They shut down like last was it October, something like that, somewhere around there. I don't even remember.
Yeah, something like that. It was like right after the camp ended.
Yeah.
It was like a month or two after the camp ended.
So yeah, October they shut down. Then the owner decided to run his own organization. He's still working on it to this day. He wants me to be involved in it, but that's to be announced, to be determined, all that stuff. Right now, I'm currently unemployed, just working full time on my career as a podcast guest wow, a podcast host.
You're a guest
Yeah,
right
I'm a
now,
guest right
right?
now. Yeah, that's what threw me off. Yeah, right now I'm just working on being a podcast host, doing this show. I eventually want to incorporate streaming into this. I have other ideas that I'm putting in the works once I start building my network with other streamers and influencers within the gaming industry. I have a lot of cool ideas. I can't wait for those to start rolling out.
Okay, all right. Ideas with the podcast or like outside doing some other stuff?
Outside doing some other stuff.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Anything you can share with us now?
Uh,
This is your audience. Don't forget.
yeah, this is my audience. Nothing right now. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to throw ideas and then say it flops and then people are like, what happened to this idea? And I'm like, it flopped. I don't want to explain myself, but
Oh, that's fine.
there's stuff. I'm working on stuff. It's going to be dope.
Okay. All
But
right,
yeah.
interesting.
But yeah, I'm currently looking for a job right now. I got to get something night shift though, because it works better with my schedule. So it's funny. I'm applying to these jobs, right? And they keep telling me I'm overqualified.
Wait, really? What kind of jobs?
Like just
Who told
basic
you?
like nights, like because I'm trying to look for night shift jobs and like I can't get a job in my field because it's all during the day. It's like
What is
nah.
your field?
Like working with troubled youth, personal development, like an office job, doing some kind of marketing, but everybody wants me to work in the morning. I'm like, I can't. I got other shit I'm
Makes
doing.
sense. Well, what is the other stuff that you're doing, if you don't mind me asking?
This, like all this, like
Okay,
I'm trying to, and knowing that I could just get a night shift job because this is my baby. Like all this right here, I'm making this a priority, so I'm working my way around it.
All right.
I'm working around this.
Yeah, and there's no obligation to stop doing this to take on a paycheck out of necessity.
Yeah,
It seems like you've got a pretty sweet setup.
Yeah, thanks. I'm trying to get this going. But like all these night shift jobs, like Night Stalker.
I want to interrupt you there because the huge thing. All right, huge deal.
Yeah.
All right, Chris has realized what he wants to do, and he has put himself in a situation where he feels it's best to make that a reality. All right, and specifically for Chris, it's moving back in with his parents so that he doesn't have to pay bills. I mean, I'm sure he helps around the house. I don't know his responsibilities and stuff, but it takes off so much pressure so that he's able to then pursue what he actually wants to do with his life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like energy in especially the United States about how you have to be the best you could possibly be. You have to have 14 jobs. If you live with your parents and you're 24, you're a giant failure. Screw all that. If you know what you want to do and you see an opportunity to set yourself up to make that succeed, like Chris has done, and it means moving back in with your parents so that you can help them out around the house and not have to take on a dumb job because you need a paycheck to pay for the apartment that you don't need because your parents have space for you, that doesn't make any sense. All right, and if anybody is telling you that you need to go have a job so that you can pay your bills, so for what? For no reason, basically, right? So that you can keep being a cog in the wheel, so that you can keep feeding whatever the society is telling you to put, pressuring you into. Scrap it, throw it away, right? Put your priorities in order, put your passions up front, and follow Chris's lead. Do what needs to happen, even if it means moving back in with your parents.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Yeah, and plus I'm 29. You know, don't let age be the reason. Like I understand too why people can't do what I do because they don't really have the best relationship with their parents. But I have a
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
yeah, I have a great relationship with my mom. We get along great, and you know she's to this day still my best friend. I tell her everything. She's fucking awesome. And yeah, that's one of the biggest things why she's helped. Like she knows about all my goals. She understands why I'm doing this, what I'm doing, and you know she's being patient with me. She's fucking awesome. So that's definitely a huge factor. If you have good relationship with your parents, don't. Yeah, the whole idea of like you have to be independent by you're like 24, like that's a lot to ask from somebody, especially if they don't have the right guidance in life. So
Yeah,
like there's really no way. I'm not saying there's a right way to do in life. It's just there's only a way for you because every situation is different, and you shouldn't feel
right.
ashamed of what other people think. Like people still be like, "You live with your mom?" I'm like, I technically don't live with her. Like we're living with each other because I'm not fucking 12 anymore. It's just yeah, it is what it is. So you know,
Yeah.
fuck what people think. But here's the flip side of it. I have an opportunity to. So yeah, okay. So let's do this. Let's rewind. So Evo's didn't. So the esports lounge closes, and fast forward all the way to 2020, January 12th, today. Yeah, I'm still working on this. I'm trying to find a job to fill in the night shift so I can, you know, pull my weight around here. Like, don't get me wrong, you still gotta pull your weight no matter where you're at. Don't be fucking lazy. Don't have people. You know, it's okay for people to hold your hand, but it's not okay for them to drag you and carry you. There's a big difference, ladies and gentlemen. Know that
I like
difference.
that.
So definitely, I'm out here looking for ways to pull my own weight. But I have a opportunity. I have two opportunities to move to California. I got a buddy of mine that I met actually at the Gary Job Corps. He's a real good friend of mine. He actually doesn't like Texas no more, so he wants to move back to his hometown in LA. He's renting a 3-bedroom house. Him and his buddy is gonna move over there, and he wants me to move with him. And he says he knows my goals about being in the gaming industry, and we all know everything happens in freaking LA in the gaming industry. So I feel like that'd be a good opportunity for me to go over there. And then there's a lot of influencers that live in LA or in
Well,
California in general.
it's also been increasingly happening in Dallas, and Austin is a pretty big streaming city. Dallas is huge on esports. Austin is big on streaming, and I think that Texas is what's the word? It's like going out west to mine for gold right now, staying in Texas. But I don't know. I'm sure people would argue with me about that. I think there's a lot of opportunity and nobody has capitalized on that yet. So there's like a window. And if you've got the foresight and the plan, I think you can make something happen here. But
We'll have to talk about that.
All that aside, let's continue with your
Yeah.
story.
So I have an opportunity to move to LA. With that, and then also I have a buddy that's still in the army. He lives in San Diego. I told him about my situation. He offered me to stay at his place as well. He has an extra room, extra bathroom. He says I have my own space to do what I need to do. He even offered me to live there for free for a couple months until I get on my feet. So my plan is probably going to San Diego, live with him for a little bit until my buddy moves back home, and then I'm gonna go visit LA. And if I like it, I'm gonna stay in LA. If I don't, I'll stay in San Diego. But if I don't like San Diego, I'm gonna come back to Texas over here in Austin, and then I'm gonna try to like I agree as well. Like there's some leverage here, but I don't live in Austin, so I don't see everything. So I'm trying to get more info on that of what you're talking about, because I have a feeling there's a huge window of opportunity here in Austin, but it's just I gotta figure it out what it is.
Yeah. And the thing about the podcast for you is that you can do it remote. So maybe going and exploring different cities and hitting different networks and different populations of people, maybe that's going to be really valuable for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those crossroad points, man.
I'm
back and say, what would happen if I chose the other thing?
Like it's definitely there, dude. It's definitely there. Like I've never been to the West Coast, so for sure I'm gonna go visit my buddy that's over there. I'm gonna go visit it, feel the vibe of it, and see how it is. And if I like it, I'll stay. If I don't, I'm just gonna stay in Austin because I love Austin. Like I'm barely over there, but when I'm over there, I love it. It's so dope. I love the culture over there, and I feel like gaming is slowly making its way in there, and yeah, can't wait. I want to be a part of it.
All right, so that was a pretty long journey. We got through about how old are you again?
29.
29. We got through 29 years of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of journey. That's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump into the next segment. What attributes have you come out the other side with? So how this works is I'm going to mention a characteristic, for example, grit or gratitude or integrity, and you're going to rate yourself on that characteristic. 1 being I'm awful, 5 being I'm a god.
A god,
right?
Okay.
1 being the worst, 5 being the absolute best on the planet. All right. So we're going to start it off. Grit, 1 through 5. Grit.
Definitely a 4.5 for sure.
Okay. How do you feel like you're gonna get that next half point? What's gonna help you push that up to a 5?
Well, I don't think I'll ever get to that point because I'm not a god. I don't think I'll ever be a god.
Hey man, never say never.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But honestly, yeah, my grit is actually a 4.5. But what would it take for me to get there is I don't think I'll ever get there because in life there's no full potential. There's no cap of full potential of a human being. Even science shows to this day like there's no limit to human potential. So I feel like my grade will always be at 4.5 because I will never know my full potential. But yeah, I can always.
Could you push it to a 4.99?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, cool. 4.99, I like that.
What has your grit done? What has your high value in grit done to help you in life?
So the biggest reality check of my own grit when I went to the military, I had the worst drill sergeant any private could ask for when you go into basic training. It was hell. There's an interesting factor. There's a clinical psychologist and psychologist professor in psychology in Toronto. His name is Jordan Peterson. He mentions that humans are more tougher than they think. When they face adversity and danger, humans, they self-reflect on how much tougher they really are. So, with that being said, I never really knew how tough I was until the bullshit that I went through basic training. And I feel like that was the biggest realization of what my grit was, is that no matter what I went through, all the circumstances, all the heartaches, all the headaches, all the physical training I had to do, all the mental games I had to go through, it was insane, dude. And the fact that I look back and I went through it when there were some people that actually mentally broke down and had to leave halfway in, and I was one of the people in my platoon that made it out alive. it was it's fucking dope. Yeah.
Alright.
I'm definitely proud to graduate from that basic training.
All right, next one. We're going to go into social intelligence. Rate yourself on social intelligence.
Social intelligence would definitely have to be again a 4.5 for sure.
This guy. All right.
What? Why you say that?
So, all right. So you're almost there. You're almost to the 4.99.
Okay.
What's holding you back?
What's holding me back is that I don't think I've met enough humans yet to understand who they are, but I have a pretty good general idea of who they are.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I've had a lot of experience with humans, again, with the army. The biggest help was my job that I spoke about at Gary Job Corps. Just seeing people how they react. There's a test on the internet which I highly recommend everybody take. It's called the Myers-Briggs test.
Don't do it. It's fake.
It's fake?
I mean, we can talk about it later. It's fun, but it's shady. I don't know. Shady's not the right word. Shady implies that it's like intentionally trying to trick you. It's not 100% scientific.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, I still recommend it.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah,
I
definitely do it.
still recommend it.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with this, but
Social intelligence, Myers-Briggs.
yeah. So take that test. It'll definitely show you a lot about yourself. I don't even know why I brought that up. Honestly, fuck. You like completely threw me off saying that. You completely threw me off. Fuck. Where was I going with this? All right, social intelligence, with the people that I learned and stuff. Oh yeah. So that's why I brought it up. So the Myers-Briggs test showed that there's 16 different personality types. Like 16. And I feel like I don't think I've explored all those personality types yet because there's still some characters that I run into every now and then that surprise the fuck out of me.
Okay.
So,
what is your Myers-Briggs personality type?
INFJ.
INFJ. Okay.
That's actually, according to this, fake test, I'm actually, I'm like the top 5% of personalities, the strongest personalities. So in the test, when you take it, it shows who you share your personality test with, who has the same one as you. So mine is Oprah, Martin Luther King, Socrates, a few other badasses. But I was like, what? I have the same personality type as them. So basically, it comes down to is that you're really into helping humanity, I guess you could say. Like you want to be a part of the growth of humanity and make it better. And then also, more importantly, you want to make individual lives better. And that's where I'm at.
What does INFJ? Those are 4 letters.
Mm-hmm.
What do each of those letters stand for?
I forgot. It's been a while. Yeah.
All right, I just pulled it up. Do you mind if I read it off?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I stands for introverted.
Yeah.
N is intuitive. F is feeling, and J is judging.
Mm. Yep.
So if anybody who is not familiar with the test, his results were introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging.
Yeah, very true.
Okay. So next one, let's go into gratitude. Rate yourself on gratitude.
Oh, dude, that's a solid 5 right there.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before, I have every reason to be the total fuck up in life because I had all the right ingredients, but like to this day, I still don't know like what in my brain decided to run away from that and use that as a lesson instead of succumbing to all that and becoming an example of just my dad. I don't know why, but to this day, like I'm still grateful for all the friends that I've met. Like honestly, half of this equipment is based on the gratitude of other friends, such as like Pete. If you're listening to this, Pete, shout out to you, bro. You've been a big help. He actually let me borrow his PC. He had an extra PC, so I
Oh,
have
okay.
I have his
Nice.
PC. This webcam is actually from Zach, that the guys that I met over at Evo's. This monitor from Zach. This TV was like for my mom. She had an extra TV. This desk, my mom actually paid for it, but I built it myself. I got the own wood like everything that's here is like this mic. Even this mic is Zach's right here. It's crazy.
Zach
So
hooked you up, man. And
yeah,
Pete too. Getting a
Pete
PC
hooked
is a
me
pretty
up,
big deal.
and there's an important lesson here, guys. Is that these guys didn't let me use this stuff, like not only from the pureness of the heart, but it's because I gave them value in their lives, and I showed how much they're worth in my life. And when you do that for people and you show them and you truly appreciate people, people will do things for you. Now, don't use this as a vindictive way. Some people out there fucking do that. But be genuine, be genuine with how you treat people, because I honestly am always grateful for the people that I run into in my life. And if I can help them in any way, I do it. And I feel like some people are the same for me too. So that goes back to my social intelligence. Like I used to suck at making friends, but now like I feel like I'm great at making friends because I could see the good. I could sense good nature in people. Like you, Sam. I love you, buddy.
Oh,
You're out
thanks.
here
Love
trying
you
to do
too.
some things. You're out here trying to
Yeah,
do some things, and I see it. And down the future, down the line, we definitely work together to make some stuff happen.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll sponsor the podcast one day.
Hey,
All right, next up, integrity.
integrity. Ooh, that's a 5. For sure. I have to be honest with myself, and to be honest with myself, I'm honest with others. For sure. I have. I don't know. I lived. There's a pretty big part that I left out in my childhood on purpose,
Okay,
but
all right.
I guess I'll bring it up. I was a really bad kid. Like I said, I never knew growing up. I was, yeah, I'm just gonna say that I was a very bad kid. I did a lot of bad things that I'm definitely not proud of. A lot of it was having false integrity. And I definitely learned from that. Like still to this day, I don't know what stopped me from continuing to go on down that path. But yeah, man, it's yeah, integrity is definitely huge. If your life is shit, it's more than likely because you don't have enough integrity within yourself. You have to be honest with yourself and be honest with others to a certain extent. Is that
Mm.
and one of the biggest things I learned is that humans are smarter than they think they are. We pick up on social cues a lot, and if you're bullshitting yourself, a lot of people can peep that. And one of the biggest things I learned in life is that if you don't take yourself serious, others won't take you serious.
Okay, good. That was very. What's the word? Not emotional. It was passionate.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Tolerance.
Tolerance. Oh man, that has to be a 5. My tolerance for bullshit is so high, dude. Because here's the reason.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's say like people wise, my tolerance for people, 99% of the things they do is not their fault. It's there's a good Buddhist quote. He says, "If you blame others, you'll never learn your lessons. If you blame yourself, you're halfway there. But if you blame no one, you're already there."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a huge quote that I live by, is that it's not people's fault to a certain extent who they are and what they're doing, because we're all a product of our experiences and lessons that we wish to choose to interpret in our brain and use as patterns in our lifestyle. And again, like I said, I don't know why I'm different. I peep that shit. Like I see I have a bad pattern, I recognize it, and I see, and then and then I analyze it. Where did this come from? And I said, okay, this is where I got it from. It's not a good pattern. I need to change it. So I change it. So,
Interesting.
so my tolerance with people is that like, if they're rude to me in public, if I'm at a gas station or somebody cut me off in traffic, it's it's not their fault. It's the way they live. Like my dad, it's not his fault that he was an alcoholic. He was force fed beer as a baby, which caused his brain to introduce it into his body. And then it's not his fault. It's not. It's just due to unfortunate circumstances. And that's definitely a lesson I
So
want everybody to learn is that when people do things, it's not their fault.
interesting.
Hmm.
So jumping into that, it's not one of them that I chose, but I feel like it's important to bring up now. Talk a little bit to self-awareness. Talk to that a little bit.
All right. So self-awareness, in order to create self-awareness, is that you have to hit rock bottom in life. That's what I noticed. When everything just seems that's against you, uh, it's like being put against the wall. Like the farther you're away from the wall, the more you could bullshit. But once that gap closes and you have nowhere else to run, you face something that you were scared to face. And one of the biggest things you have to do in life, people, is that you have to face the things that you're running away from. Because we never really get rid of our demons. We just learn to live above them. That's a huge factor in life. We all have our own demons that we have to deal with. And people have shitty lives because they either run away from those demons or they make friendships with those demons. So that's why you see a lot of miserable people out there. It's because for one, I mean, you can give everybody the best advice and they could just do it, but they won't do it because it's easy to take advice. But you know what's easier? Not taking advice. Just continue doing what you want to do. That's what's easier in life. And that's what people do. People don't have that. People haven't been through enough in their life to change their lives. And if they have, they think they went through a lot in their life, they use it as an excuse, as a reason why their life is shit. A lot of people just settle, man. And
Yeah, true.
it's so fucking unhealthy out there. Like we have everybody in the world, no matter if you went through the worst shit in life, you could always use that and be an example for somebody that's going through that shit in their life because you have
Yeah,
the answers how you went
use it
through
as
it.
fuel.
Mm-hmm. And people don't see it like that. Like people, it's easy to play the victim. Very easy. It's easy to play the victim. It's hard to be a student and learn and go and build the grit, build the integrity, face your demons to build that self-awareness of who you are. And that's what makes us different. And then I believe every human is very capable of doing that, but it's just easier not to do it. It's easier just to go with the flow instead of going against the tide and learning and go through the bullshit to learn who you are. But once you do it, my friends, you know, you build things like this. I'm building my podcast. I'm building my personal brand around gaming. It's just I had every reason to be a victim and I chose to be a student of my own life and also plan to teach other people.
Speaking of your brand, what would you say that your Instagram mostly focuses on? What do you want to achieve with that?
The biggest thing I want to put out there is like it's a lot of personal development stuff right now because that's where my Instagram grew its growth from because I used to have like 15K followers, but then I stopped for a while because personal reasons, but now I'm down to like 10K. So it was mostly like inspirational videos. Nice. It was mostly like inspirational quotes, stuff that I read in books, inspirational videos, life like little golden nuggets that I learned in books and videos that I learned. But I'm slowly trying to transgress that into like, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, how do I put gaming and personal development together? Well, I feel like this podcast is a good first step. I'm interviewing gamers on how, because having this kind of career is not fucking easy. And especially, if you become Twitch partnered or Mixer partnered, it takes work. And every human has a fucking story. And so I wish this is what the whole point of this podcast is, to bring out that story of others and all the shit that they went through to get to what they have now. So that's a good first start. And also, man, like I'm just trying to, the gaming industry, there's a lot of, like I've talked to a few, I guess you could say people that are up there in the gaming industry. And a lot of it is people are measuring each other's dicks. I have more subs than you. I make more money. I have more this, more that, more clout. But then at the end of the day, people are still fucking miserable. So I'm trying to add that little ray of positive light into the gaming industry to where, listen, motherfuckers, it's not all about that, for one. And the only way I could be that kind of authority voice is bring my own brand up to their level and be that one guy like, hey, this is the guy that is proof that, cloud don't mean shit. All it matters is that what kind of impact you want to leave in somebody's life. And that's what I want. And another quote that I love to live by is that you may forget my name, you may even forget what I look like, but you'll never forget how I made you feel. That's my goal.
Okay. It's a deep quote.
Yeah.
I think honestly I would forget a face before I forgot a name though. So maybe switch those.
Yeah. And personal preference. People are better with names. People are better with faces.
That's true. All right, so let's jump in. Next one, patience. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Patience.
My patience is a 5. One of the biggest things that Army taught me is there's this good motto is hurry up and wait. So say like we had to be in formation at 9 a.m. They'll fucking rush us. Be there by 9. No, we got to be there by like 8:45. We're in formation by 8:45. 9 o'clock comes around. Nothing's going on. 9:30 hits. Nothing's going on. 10 o'clock hits. Nothing's going on. So that's what the military is all about. Hurry up and wait, because they teach you patience. Is that I've been trained to learn to wait for long periods of time for no reason.
Yeah.
I feel like the Army has taught me that. And then, so now it's just like waiting at a doctor's appointment or waiting on something, waiting in traffic. It don't bother me just because the Army distilled that into me. Like, there's more to life. And this, like, if you're sitting, what taught is that while you're standing there, you kind of just learn to take in the world that's around you that you choose to ignore, because everybody's on a go, and that they don't sit back and focus. Like, instead of worrying about the traffic, why don't you, sit there and enjoy what's going on around you.
It's like an anxiety that people have. Like, if you're not patient, I think the opposite of patience is anxiety. So then it's like this anxiety that they have to be getting in as much as possible every single day. So sitting in traffic or sitting at a doctor's appointment or waiting in a line is taking time out of this day that they've been trying to fit in as much stuff as possible. And it's like you have a lot more than just that one day. You have a lot more than that hour. The 15 minutes that you're sitting in traffic doesn't mean anything in the why are you going to like get anxious and stress out and yell at other cars and ruin your own day, and not to mention everybody else's?
Yeah, it makes sense, dude. Perfect sense.
All right, charisma.
My charisma? Oh man, my charisma is definitely a 5, dude. I mean, I think you could agree too that I'm a pretty charismatic person due to conversations we have and stuff. Depends on the topic, of course, but it wasn't taught. I mean, it wasn't instilled in me. I had to teach myself this shit. Like, I was definitely introverted, picked on a lot, as I said before. Came to Texas. It definitely opened up my horizons. Where like, wow, people are so charismatic here. And I noticed I started talking. Like, I could just talk to strangers now, like on a whim, and have a casual, good conversation with people. And before it wasn't like that. Before I would just like kind of keep my distance and stuff. But yeah.
Do you think that you've become more extroverted, or do you think that you're still an introvert who has learned how to be extroverted in the right moments?
That I'm still very introverted. I love being at home because I wouldn't say it's comfort, but it is comfort. But at the same time, I'm grateful for everything, because everything that I'm grateful for mostly is right here. So yeah, I don't feel the necessity to go out and have to live life. Like, of course, there's certain times, like if somebody says, hey, let's go out and celebrate this, or let's go out and have a bite here. Yeah, it's cool. Like, I'll go out. But, if you ask me if I prefer to stay home and watch anime with my friends than go out to a bar and drink, I'll definitely stay home and watch animes with my friends. That's just me. But I could definitely be extroverted for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's like a spectrum. A lot of people think it's one or the other. Either you're an introvert or you're an extrovert. I think there's a spectrum, and that speaks to that.
Yeah, it's not really black and white. Like, for me, there's definitely a gray area. I choose to be introverted, but I can be extroverted if I want to.
All right, what about critical thinking?
Critical thinking? Again?
Yeah.
Damn, I keep coming back to the Army. Wow, the Army really taught me a lot. in life.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a good turn.
In such a short amount of time too.
Yeah,
I feel like it was because it was boot camp, like that really intense 2 months, or do you think it was just being in the army in general for,
Boot camp.
even for that short? Okay, all right.
Boot camp was
Yeah.
definitely the turning point in my life where it taught me a lot. Like I definitely, if I ever have kids, I'm not sure if I want to bring kids into this crazy ass world, but I definitely recommend kids go to basic training and get a feel of what life is really about out there in the world.
It's only 2 months, dude.
It's the biggest
Like,
2 months of your life.
It's such an right. It's such an important thing. I feel
Mhm.
like I don't know. I don't want to say that I think that everybody there should be like a required like military service, but I feel like that boot camp experience should be much more common.
Mhm.
What you're saying, and I share the same experience, and I've heard it from a lot of other people. Those 2 months are really packed with valuable shit, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
And it seems like you're just there suffering, and that's a lot. That's a huge part of it. But there's a lot of growth that happens in a
Mhm.
short amount of time, and I think a lot of people could gain value from that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like, I don't
I'm
know
not
how it is
saying
in
go
the
sign up.
Navy. Yeah, yeah, especially nowadays. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
I don't
I
know how it
agree.
is in the Navy, but in the Army, there's red phase, white phase, and blue phase. So the beginning is red phase, which is 3 weeks, which is like 3 weeks of hell. You get fucked up. Like they throw you straight into the ocean with the sharks, and then you just get a hard reality check of where you're at and what the hell you're about to go through. And I feel like everybody needs that in life.
yeah.
Everybody.
All right.
Everybody.
So you didn't actually give me a number though. Critical thinking
5.
5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
God, the God of critical thinking, right here.
Mhm.
You're looking at him.
Yeah.
World's
So
best.
like if I'm just walking and a bomb blows up and everybody needs help, I'm that guy to be like, all right, what do I need to do? What do I got to do?
Okay.
I'm that guy. I'd be like, I got a plan. Let's go. Let's get it.
Speaking of you surviving during the nuclear holocaust, luck.
What the fuck? Luck.
Yeah.
Wow, luck. Luck is very interesting.
Yeah.
I feel that I've had a lot of luck in my life because things could have went really bad real quick. Again, 5. Luck is definitely a 5 for sure.
Okay.
I feel like I've dodged a lot of bullets in my life. I could be totally different. The people that I met, a lot of it's like my choices, of course. Like, I chose to go to work at Evo's. I chose to keep going. I chose to go to the army, but those choices came with a lot more unexpected lessons and circumstances that I hold dear as lessons to my human nature to this day. So I feel like that's where the luck came in.
Okay. So we're gonna stay on luck for a little bit longer. So I'm hearing a lot recently. I can't remember specific places, but it's been on like podcasts, on TV, on the radio, whatever. But when people talk about luck,
Mhm.
there's like there's all these different ideas about what luck is and how it manifests itself into people's reality.
Mhm.
What is luck to you? Is it some cosmic thing that sort of happens? Is it you seeing opportunity? Is it something
Okay.
totally different?
So let me get my leg up. So
I'm ready. Mind matter.
mind matter, mind over
Yeah.
matter.
Oh,
It's actually
wow.
part of my clothing line. I used to have a clothing line, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Wait, are you for real?
Yeah, this is my clothing line.
Well, that joke went over my head. Mind over matter went right over my head. I don't know why I didn't catch that.
Yeah, mind over matter. But yeah, I used to have a clothing line and had inspirational quotes, which I do plan to bring out soon after my brand blows up a little bit more. But that's in the future.
Yo, you
But-
put that shirt out with the gold lion logo on it. Just the logo looks dope on a shirt.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, I'd probably drop like.
and this is my hat too. I got this hat.
$497.82.
Oh well, fuck. So this hat. Okay, so the camera's flipping it, but it's actually
Yeah.
be different backwards, mirrored.
No, it looks like that for me.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then there you
So
go.
wait, for your camera, does it read it regular? It looks
Yeah.
like it just says "be different."
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's weird.
But nah, it looks like that for me.
Oh, okay. Well, not for the people that are watching this YouTube. But yeah, it says be
Good point,
different, and that's
because it's recording on your end.
my logo. My the name of the brand was Language Apparel.
Okay.
So language, it's because that I believe the strongest force in the world is words. I
Okay.
feel like words is the strongest force in the world, and yeah, a lot of crazy shit happens. Like look at Donald Trump. He says a few things, the world goes crazy. Adolf Hitler, he said a few words, and look what happened to the Jews. He convinced everybody they were the scum of the earth, and then look what the fuck happened. To get religious, in the Bible it says, "Let there be light," and then there was light. It was the power of his words that created everything. So there's a lot to take in from that. But I digress. So your question about luck, what is it that we pretty much is like? Is it something that we bring in with our own minds? Is it something we attract, or what?
Yeah, exactly. What is luck? Where does it
What
come
is
from?
all
Why
right?
does it exist?
Luck. I feel like luck is just a word that we use to explain what we can't explain. So it's something like miracle. Like what is a miracle? People say it's an act of God. Why is it an act of God? Because it's something that happened that we can't explain. We can't comprehend in our human brain. That's what it is. So luck is just, to me, luck is just a series of events and circumstances that worked in your favor, that you chose to work in your favor. You see what I'm saying?
Give me an
So,
example.
so an example is me going to Evos and meeting you. Okay, I could have just blew you off and said fuck your summer camp, but I chose to stick with it because I believed in your vision. But that's the key point. I believed in your vision. Your perspective in life creates your luck. See what I'm saying? The fact that I chose to work with you because I believed in your vision is the reason why you chose to take the time out of your day to do this for me. Which, thank you, by the way. See what I'm
Yeah, of
saying?
course.
So
Yeah.
I could call this luck, like, oh, I'm so lucky that I have a friend like you. It's like yes and no. It's like I chose, from my perspective, because I seen who you are and I believe in you and what you want to do, and it built this friendship because we got to know each other, and then your respect for me caused this. So I could call
Okay.
this luck, but it was initially perspective is what creates your reality. It's up to you what you want to see, how you want to react, how much you want to appreciate. There's a lot of factors in it. So we use this one word, luck, to explain what we can't explain.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a couple of different things I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those are your attributes. You've got your character built and ready. You're all geared up and you're ready to go. Now you're out in the world. Where's that yellow dot taking you on the mini map? Where are you going? What's your main quest?
All right. So my main quest right now in life is that my main quest right now is this podcast. So the main quest is that I want to bring a whole bunch of inspirational, influential characters in the gaming industry to come here, share their story, and then amongst that, I want to create something bigger. Now, I don't know if I should mention it, but I do. I mean, fuck it, I'll mention it. So I do plan on having a game show. I want to stream a game show. So once I build enough reputation with all these other brands and all these people, I eventually want to invite them onto my stream, and I don't know yet, but I have a lot of good ideas, and I want to make a game show with all these streamers. And the point of the game show is bring other brands to my stream, and then because there's a lot of hate that goes on between brands. Like a lot of people have certain hate towards XQC, towards Tim the Tatman, towards Ninja, towards Dr. Lupo. No matter how much good they're doing in the world, there's always some kind of hate. So I wish to bring them all together and bring their fans all in one place and just have a good time with their favorite streamer. And I'm just trying to create happiness within the gaming industry. That's my main quest.
Okay. What are some milestones that you're working towards to get you there?
Just working on myself, working on my personal brand, building my network. I mean, it starts slowly. It's just a little snowball effect. I just start networking, bringing people onto the podcast, building relationships, meaningful relationships, not just business relationships. Uh, yeah, that's basically it. Those are the
Business
milestones.
relationships can be meaningful.
Okay,
Just saying,
yeah.
just saying. I mean,
Well, I mean, people have like,
never know.
I just talked to this person because he invests in my company. So other than
Oh,
that,
I see
fuck
what you're
'em.
saying. Like,
Yeah,
not like people trying to use each other type
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. What is something that's going to happen to your podcast that you're like, I can't even imagine this happening, like hitting 1 million subs or something, or hitting finally episode 1000 or something like that. Something huge that you like, you're going to freak out when it finally happens.
When my podcast finally gets to the point to where big names ask to be on my show to share their story.
All right. Who's
'Cause
the one target that you've got? Like, there's probably one, at least one, that you're like, when I get this guy, I know I've made it. Who is it?
Dr. Disrespect.
Because
Because he's a tough cookie to get to, and then he's very picky about what he does, and which I mean, by all means, of course, but
and he doesn't need anybody.
he don't.
He
don't.
got his own thing going,
and that's
it's
what makes
going
it
amazing.
That's what makes it great. Is that where he sees my show and he's like, I like what he's doing. I'm gonna get my team and reach out to him.
Yeah.
And when that happens, I'm like, I wouldn't say that's when I'm fully proud of what I did, but it's gonna be a huge realization. Like, holy shit, I literally created something to where somebody like him wants to be here.
Is there an end to this? Is there going to be a day?
There's going to be nope. There's going to be no end. I'm going to do this till fucking, what's that guy name? Larry King. I'm going to go all the way to Larry King, dude. Like, I'm literally like, I love talking to people. You could see it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people mention, like, when I talk to them, I'm talking to them. Like, I'm fully in it and they feel it. It's because I'm really genuinely, I love people. I respect people for what they went through. Even though they share their story, they don't share everything, which I fully respect. Everybody's had their own paths, and I just love people, dude. And one of the biggest things I'm really good at, I notice, as I'm good at talking to people, not because, in a vindictive way, but it's because I'm genuinely curious and interested in their story. And yeah. And I could just see myself talking to people for the rest of my life on my Safe File podcast. Yeah, it'll be tough to get fully book this, because I mean, I was looking at some stats that there's only 40,000 Twitch partners right now, somewhere, give or take. So I mean, assuming if I schedule them every Tuesday and Saturday or something weird, only do 2 a week, I feel like I'd be good for the rest of my life given those stats. But there's more to the gaming world than just Twitch. So there's YouTube, right, Mixer, and Facebook now, and other people. Like, another person I really want on here is a voice actor named Matthew Mercer. You know who he is?
Nah, what does he do? What's a voice that he does that I would recognize?
He does McCree for Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
He does him, and he has a few gigs in all around the fucking gaming realm. Like, I guess he has a few gigs in what's that? Monster Hunter. He does. Okay. He does some stuff in there too. He's also.
What did he do that caught your attention that made you want to have him on?
I heard about him, McCree, where he was a voice actor for there. I hear that he goes to a lot of conventions and meets his fans and does sign booths and stuff like that. So I was like, that's cool. He's a cool guy. But what really got me interested in his brand and his character and him is that he hosts a show called Critical Role on Twitch, to where he's a dungeon master. He plays D&D with other voice actors.
And that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think I've seen that.
It's fucking amazing.
It's popped up on the top.
Yeah, every Thursday. I'm shouting them out, but they go live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Okay. And it goes for about 4 hours. It's amazing journey. Those guys are awesome. But yeah, I would love to have even all those guys on my podcast, at least one at a time. Fuck, I might reach out to him now that I think about it. I'm gonna do it. Like, what's up, y'all? But yeah, not just streamers I'm trying to have on here, but I also have like voice actors, devs, artists. I would love to have an artist come in, and do it, it'd be amazing.
So just the gaming industry and its affiliated,
Yeah.
like probably cosplayers.
Famous cosplayers, yeah.
Yeah.
CEOs of certain organizations. Like that'd be all dope. Anybody in the gaming industry, I want them on here.
Okay. So do you got any side quests going on? Anything like working on your fitness? You working on
I'm working on
diet?
yeah, so what I'm definitely working on yoga. I haven't
Okay.
I've recently experienced yoga. It's so fucking cool. I want to do it. I want to do it.
Where did you go? Where did you go?
My living room.
Oh, all right.
I literally it's because I was having issues with my lower back, and then I realized I've been sitting down a lot ever since I got this setup because I'm just completely focused on my brand.
How long does it take you to edit an episode?
Depends. Yeah, if there's like a lot of, disconnects and stuff like that. So, I mean, they usually roughly run smoothly. So it takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to edit. But yeah, I also have another side quest I'm working on is my YouTube channel. Right now I just have my podcast episodes on there, but I don't know exactly what else I want to put on there. I'm testing out Omegle. I meet a lot of interesting people on there, and I feel like it makes good content. But holy shit, just to
Yeah,
like, I'll go live. Yeah, I'll go live for like. My goal is to go live for an hour on Omegle, and just to make like a 15-minute video on YouTube, it takes hours and hours of editing. It's annoying. So I'm actually looking.
Why does it take so long?
Because it's tedious. Yeah, I have to watch the whole thing, and then like, hey, I like that, so I clip it, go, and then I find other segments that I like, and I clip it, and then I'm okay. All right, I got my segments, and after I got those segments, I do little things like little zoom in, zoom out, little stuff. It's a lot of little fucking things, and it takes a lot of time to do it.
Yeah,
It's so
all those
annoying.
little things add up.
Yeah, it's so annoying. So I'm really looking for a video editor. I have a buddy that's helping me out because he's in the video editing community. So I'm trying to find a video editor that's willing to work for free for a while. And yeah,
It's gonna be hard
Yeah.
hard to find.
yeah, I believe, but yeah, I'm aware of that. But I do believe there's that one person that understands the concept of working for free for a bit. Because if that person comes to me and works for free, and then because he's going to be the catalyst of helping me get to start making money on YouTube. Because if we push out, the more videos I push out on YouTube, the faster it'll accelerate to where I want it to be and start making money. And then I'll make sure he or she is well taken care of. And I plan to work with him for the rest of my life. It's not going to be some one-off thing.
Yeah,
But I love
that's one of the good things about the gaming world and streaming and stuff is that people like expect that they're going to be giving like basically charity and volunteer work until that person blows up. Is like getting big on Twitch takes time, and having those people that help you out along the way, like the mods, dude. There's like Unspoken Heroes, like they do work for free basically to keep your chat clean and keep people feeling welcome.
Yep. And I plan on I'm all about making sure everybody. I'm the type of person, if I'm making it and I'm eating, it ain't right. I want my people to eat with me too. So I want to make sure everybody's eating and living good. So because if they're taking care of me, I want to take care of them. Because honestly, all of my success would have never happened if it wasn't for them. The mods, the editors. Sooner or later, I'm going to get a manager. I already have somebody in mind for a manager.
Okay.
So, yeah, all them people, like, I'm going to make sure they're taken care of.
So, which game, probably Call of Duty as well, because your life has been Call of Duty, it sounds like. Which game has taught you the most about life?
Pokemon.
Pokemon,
yes.
All right, explain. That was unexpected.
Yeah. Back in my early days, after the Nintendo 64, my dad bought me a Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
And my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Gold.
The Advance, dude?
Yeah, dude. I even had to buy... I remember, like, playing that on the bus ride to school, and I had to buy, like, the USB light.
Yeah.
I had to get it, dude.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I remember that.
I had to get
the
it.
Little mirror, they had like a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I never used that. I
used it like for a week, and I was like, "This is actually annoying." And I
got rid of it. Very annoying. So that actually taught me a lot about life. Having Pokemon, training them, patience. It actually taught me how to spend money. Believe it or not.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it taught me how to spend money. It taught me how to earn money, invest money into things. It taught me a freaking lot, dude. That fucking game taught me a lot about life. And I still tell my parents to this day, like, "Hey, mom, you never taught me money, did you?" She's like, "No." She's like, "Wait, how'd you learn?" I was like, "Pokemon." I went and bought potions and Pokeballs, and all right, this is how much I have. This is how much I need. This is how much I need to save in case some shit happens. Plan accordingly. I learned how to use a savings, even though I didn't have a savings account in Pokemon, but I learned how to save. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Learning how to raise and be patient. Be patient with things. Learn how to grow something. It takes time to grow things. You have to grind. A lot of repetitiveness. Yeah, Pokemon taught me a lot. Shout out to Pokemon.
Which game made you cry? If any
Which
game
game?
has ever made you cry.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, see, you understand. So again, Final Fantasy X was the catalyst of my love for RPG games.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it was
Final
that
Fantasy,
Final
yeah,
Fantasy
go ahead.
X and Oblivion. Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Those were the two fucking games that just I'm like, what is an RPG game? It's you going around, growing your people, getting shit, being who you want. I learned that from the get-go. I was like, dude. So Final Fantasy X, I still remember playing that on my PS2 on my shitty TV that I had at the time. I remember like I could barely read my health and my characters' names because it was so pixelated. I still remember that. And then I plugged that into like my big old TV I told you I bought for the first time, my LCD TV. I was like, a whole new world. It was a whole new world, dude. It was insane, dude. So
Did you beat the game? You got all the way to the end? You
yeah,
finished
I
it?
beat the game. So what made me cry was the very fucking end, dude.
Spoiler alert, man. No, I'm just
Listen, the
kidding. If you
game's like
haven't,
20 plus years old,
yeah,
dude.
game's old.
Yeah. So what made me cry in the game was the very end, down to the very end, that fucking high five that Titus gives to his dad. That high five, dude. That, hey, we did it. We made it. Our plan worked. Me becoming Sin, bringing you here. You did your thing. You don't completely hate me, but you respect me enough to understand my decisions. And I feel like the reason why that made me cry and that story still holds dear to me and I still play that game every now and then is that it's because it reminds me of the relationship with my dad. Is that it goes back to, I understand it's not your fault, the shit that you chose to do and all that stuff and why you've succumbed to the life that you did. And, that high five reminded me, giving my dad the high five is that, you're the reason why I am the person I am today.
Dude, that's deep. That's super deep. And it's one of the things that I feel like the gaming world, everybody's so about esports and streaming and Fortnite and all this.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing all the like deep, valuable life lessons and just beautiful artwork. And these games are so much more than just competitive sports.
Mm-hmm.
They are for sure. Esports is huge and it's fun to watch, but
Yeah.
you play a good RPG with a good story that can actually teach you stuff, dude. It changes your life. It
Yeah.
can. A video game can change your life.
Final Fantasy X definitely changed my life, man. And also Final Fantasy X woke me up about religion
Mm-hmm.
because how they were falsely being led by you Yevon and shit or Yevon. I was like, dude, that's fucking insane. So that's when I went through my own personal journey about religion and why am I Catholic? Oh, because of this. Oh, because of that. And then now I have a whole different view of that's a whole nother topic I don't want to get into, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's another big life lesson I learned from Final Fantasy is that, don't be so blind to religion. Don't just be a follower. Like, do your fucking research and then build your own perspective in life instead of living on somebody else's perspective blindly.
Mhm. So what are some of let's just do just one gaming achievement that you're super proud of, the most proud of.
Gaming achievement that I'm mostly proud of. Um, wow, that's a good question. It's the first
You
question.
wrote it.
Yeah, I did, right? Shit, that's a good question. I need to ask that question more often. I don't ask that question to people. Uh, Dang. The biggest gaming achievement is getting all 100 and no, getting all the bananas in Donkey Kong 64. In Donkey Kong 64, dude. That shit was hard. That last
That's a
part, have
good
you
one.
played it?
No.
Oh, dude, the last
I mean, I
part,
played it, but I don't remember enough to.
dude, you have to go
I
through
didn't do the banana thing.
King Cruel's fucking ship, and you have to literally there's like a 40-minute timer to like go through everything, and then at the end you fight him and beat him and you get all that, dude. That was a bitch, and I'm happy that I beat that. Yes.
All right. Gaming achievement. That was a pretty good one. I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. So, what is your final boss? Your long-term, down the road goal, and why?
My big long-term final boss that I wish to conquer in my life is I want to be the role model for gamers of all ages. I want to be the proof to show that no matter how bad your hand was dealt, you could always make the most of what you got. That's my final boss. Like, I want to be the prime example to where, you have every reason to be mad at yourself. You have every reason to hate life. You have every reason to just hate people that came and went in your life and used you as like a piece of shit that you're not. I want to be the person to prove that, listen, the shit that you went through was for a reason. Be a student. And then once you learn, be a teacher for other potential students that are going out there in the world learning through certain circumstances, through unfortunate circumstances. I want to be that role model for people.
All right, that's good. That's honorable.
Thank you.
So it seems like the same question.
Nope.
But I'm going to ask it because it's on here. What is your save file? What impact do you want to leave behind? After defeating your final boss, what impact, what will be left in the file that you leave for the world?
All right. So the impact I wish to leave in my save file when somebody opens it is that I want people to see that happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. It's hard to be happy. I understand that. So it's a tough world out there. I want to be the reason when somebody looks back, they're going to be like, wow, this guy went through all this shit. This guy made so many people happy. All because he chose happiness. He realized that there's this dark area of life, and he chose light. That's basically it. Like, I want to be that person to prove
Jedi
that.
Master.
And then I also want to be the proof that there are good humans. When somebody looks back in life, be like, this was a really good fucking human being. He created all these charities for people. He changed all these lives. He did all this stuff for people. And he didn't have to, but he chose to, because he believed in people before they believed in themselves. That's the kind of impact I wish to leave when somebody opens up my save file.
All right. That's good. So
you're so nonchalant about that. You're just like, that's good.
Well, we're gonna hold on. My wire got wrapped around my foot. That's a beautiful mission and goal. It's very honorable. Again,
thank you.
So, in 100 years, when people find this podcast floating out in space, and they tune in to episode 10, they're gonna know. They're gonna open this up. They're gonna load it up on their little whatever. Like, what do you think they're gonna have in 100 years? Just floating hologram screens in front of their
They're gonna
faces?
have contact lenses where they go like this.
Yeah, right.
And then they'll be able to see it right there, and they're gonna be like,
yeah.
Nope. I honestly believe that.
You're gonna hear Chris Ethan speaking from the past. But it could be your present, ladies and gentlemen.
Facts.
Take note. All right. Any closing statements? So you want to do the outro?
The outro? What is the outro? Oh yeah,
know,
my own outro. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or is there more you want to talk about that you don't think we've hit on? I mean, I hit the end of your questions, but we can keep going.
Yeah. Basically, again, Sam, thank you so much. This was his idea that he wanted to do this. I mean, he chose to do this.
He forced me. He put a gun to my head.
Yeah, he forced me to fucking do it, dude.
Happy to be.
Again, Sam, I want to take this time to thank you, bro. Much love, much appreciation. I appreciate you more than you think. You're a good friend. You're a good human being. I see the stuff that you want to put out there in the world, and I support you 100%. If you ever need my help, you need an investor down the line, because I'm gonna be rich one day. Don't be afraid to ask for money. Just give me a business plan. I
better get there first.
You better get there first. What the hell? But yeah, I believe in your vision, man. And again, thank you so much for this idea. I never would have thought about doing this myself. And yeah, man, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, of course, awesome. Dude. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam Gonzalez, aka Hybrid i9, soon to be Hybrid i11 when that shit comes out. We'll see what's up. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes episode 10. Never would have thought I'd be making my own podcast. It's kind of crazy how life works out. So what I say from this, after speaking about my life journey, I really don't do this often, especially somebody sitting here with me for almost 3 hours to deal with my story. But what I learned in life is that just go for your dreams. I mean, death is too easy. I feel like it's way too easy to get out of this life. There's you as a human being have more power than you think you do. And if you're struggling to find your meaning in life, I would say start by helping others. And you can never go wrong on helping others in life. So, yeah. If you made it this far, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, thank you so much for listening to my story. I plan on looking back at this probably like an episode 100 and see how far I've went. And yeah, it's going to be a fun journey. It's going to be interesting where this podcast goes. And I still mean that I want to be the Larry King of gaming podcast. It's going to happen. I love talking to people. Ain't nothing going to change that. But go for your dreams, people. Go for your fucking dreams. If it's weird, of course it's weird. You have to build a plan. So build the damn plan and just go for that shit. And there's going to be a lot of luck involved. It's going to be a lot of you building yourself as a person, as a human being, and learning about people. It's going to be rough, but you are stronger than you think you are. So use me as an example of must needed to do what you need to do. So again, thank you, Sam, so much. You're amazing. It's your boy, Gold Lion, episode 10, signing out at the Safe File Podcast. Stay happy, stay healthy, and most of all, gamers, stay golden. Much love. Peace, everybody.